going on here?
No time to explain. Go!
Someone normal.
Call.
What is this place?
Well, you got a vest-wearing cactus, grave-digging bats, and a killer biker crow. Oh, and if you stop to explain, you're a goner.
Okay.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to the North American Brawl Stars Open. I'm your boy, Tom Badger. That's Nick Pretty Hair Keogh. We're ready to get week number 8 started. It's the final week here at the NA Brawl Stars Open.
It's been a lot of fun, guys. If you're just now joining us, where have you been? This is an 8-week format, single elimination, and 5 best-of-3 sets will determine who moves on in every single round. And each of those sets is one of the game modes you're very, very familiar with. Of course, our prizing, what's up for grabs today, $600 for first, $300 for second, and $150 for third and fourth. We don't play those rounds for placings. If you make it to the semifinals, you're good to go. You're in the money.
We've been watching these guys do it for a number of weeks. Like we said, well, 7, because we're here in number 8. And this is what the maps look like. We're going to be starting off somewhere in the middle around round 16. Gem grab, heist, brawl ball guaranteed. And then if we get some competition, we'll see some siege and bounty.
But if you guys notice, the game modes sort of change as we move on. That way you get to see everything, right? Whether you're a Heist fan, whether you're a Brawl Ball fan, you'll get to see it all eventually at some point. This is the bracket. This is who's made it so far in this event. You're seeing a lot of these familiar names. Sneaky Plantas up at the top, probably one of the favorites, I think, in today's event. Those guys continue. And you know, what makes them special is that they have lost before. Yeah. I think, you know, they know how to come back. They know how to continue to improve and get better. Haven't seen Nova Purple in the finals, I don't think, since they won that event against Sneaky Plantas.
Yeah, it's been a minute, so we're going to see kind of what happens here in the final week. I'm excited to see what's going on here. But we've got Poopery and Scooby Snacks going up head-to-head. You saw the bands before. Rico taking out. That's an interesting one.
Interesting for sure. I think, you know, a lot of these guys probably have done their homework on each other, who they're going to be facing, things like that. They probably had the chance to kind of look at what maps are they going to be doing. And it's only one band, so you really have to sort of take a wider look at the match you're going to be playing and decide what's going to be effective either for this team, what do they love to run a lot, or is there something in particular given the maps that we have to play. And these are match-wide bands, so it's across all types of game modes. So that's what makes me lean a little bit more towards, like, they probably know they love to play like a Rico, right? That's where it's like you can't get something that's good for every single map you're going to see.
This map, Rico would be good on. No Rico, though. So we're going to go right into it. We see some Pipers and some Brocks. Love to see the long-range engagement. But Gene on the other side, Nick's going to look to make it up close and personal with that grab.
I definitely like the Brock pick on this one. Brock is, especially on this map, being able to open up the map more. There's not a lot of places to hide. You can see Nita camping out this little elbow right here. Once that elbow is gone, though, it really opens up the map. And then that's where Piper and Brock are going to get much, much stronger.
Push belonging to the red team right now. Scooby Snacks have control of mid, and they don't look like they're giving up anytime soon. You mentioned Nita on here, the El Barto. He's doing a good job and just popping the bear. Bear's going to come around and start aggressing on a Piper. That's that.
Oh, well placed. He tails the bear beautifully through there and just kind of punches Piper out. Think of Nita here as like your melee-ish. She's the brawler. She's the warrior. She wants to get in there and mix it up. And you take that risk of not getting the positioning of like your opponent's elbow when you do this. Now they've given it up. I'll be curious to see how they get it back.
Playing on the defensive, but still, I mean, 8-1 at the moment. Barley's going to pick up another. It's a 1 gem away from the countdown. Magic hand, and that's a nice pull into the kill. And that's going to be enough to start the countdown. 10-zip, 13 seconds to go.
Ooh, Barley taking some damage here. He might go down. Brock Super comes out, but they all skirted. That was very, very nicely done. I am so surprised nobody took an extra shot there. Well done.
Yeah, real clean. The spins come out. Match over. Scooby Snacks pulling up. Nice and easy.
That was impressive, I gotta say. Dodging that Brock Super at the end. Very good stuff. Having the Barley to push into, it's very, very tough. When he knows where you're trying to be next, it's a very tough character to play into.
Yeah, the predictability of putting it down. That's why Barley really excels when you look at Siege, because you see those stops, those the bolts really spawning,
Yeah.
and the gem grab suffers the same consequence where everybody wants to be in the middle. So if he just tosses stuff in the mid, you really can't walk there, and that's a whole big deal of why you see him in these matches.
Again, I really want to emphasize this Nita. Getting to this elbow early was such a big benefit for them. None of these enemy brawlers can really afford to get in there and mix it up with this Nita. She's not overly tanky. I think what Nita brings that is most special is she's an incredibly fast reload time, so she can really get her ammo back quick and pump out a lot of damage that way. You can see these two long-range sharpshooters, Brock and Piper. They were never able to open up the map to prevent Nita from holding that elbow.
And that's really what, that was the entire decision there. They didn't want to go with the Rosa. They didn't want to go with some of the more traditional melees. I think Nita's a little bit flexible in that regard, where she can kind of play that up-close position, but can also fall back. And so having multiple options there, I think, is real important.
Yeah, her star power lends to great brawlability, if you will. Let me make up a word here. It's very fun to get in there. I think Nita's a little bit slept on. I played a little bit of her this morning, and definitely enjoy that character. When you can get in a rhythm and get people on the run and place your bear as well, she can be frightening.
Best skin of the game. Minecart Madness on the way.
Let's go.
This is an interesting one. What are your favorites?
We take this. We take those, baby. This is cool because it has an additional mechanic on top of just playing gem grab.
Sure.
You'll kind of hear the bells ringing, the train horns whistling as these carts start to come through the map. They snake around these tracks and they do 2,000 damage to you, and it refires or reticks that damage. If you stay in front of the cart, will pump some major damage out onto your brawlers. You have to be careful. And it makes for some fun and interesting moments where certain brawlers get caught on one side of the map that they may not necessarily want to be on, like the bow right there.
And also, this also makes it a lot harder to really just lock down mid like we saw in game number 1. Red team still generally has control, but they can't literally stand on the point because the minecart's going to keep coming on through. So it forces a sort of neutral situation. Right there, Colin's light kind of gets pushed back into it, doesn't die to the cart itself, but Rod actually works off of it.
Really nice job just activating the bow mines and making sure they don't take the damage. Magic hand goes out, but it's barely off the mark. These players are trying to pull each other into the mine carts because it's almost a guaranteed kill.
And don't forget, the Gene player is still kind of adjusting to the change. The Magic hand
I would have done it, man.
Pretty big.
Definitely would have done it there. That was extremely close to landing. Right now, it's all Scooby Snacks on Minecart Madness. One more gem will start their countdown.
Yeah, this is a big push. You saw them walk on the other side of the minecart. Colin's in some trouble, but he'll find his way out of it. Now 9-1. Red team low, but that's the 10th gem. Do they want to go for it?
Juke. Making sure to get in there. Right back out, and the minecart's going to cover their retreat. Nicely done.
Easy. 10-1 again. Prod's going to push up, and the Magic Hand again just barely short.
That's the nerf, man. Those will be landing. You can definitely see it now today. Well done. Nick gets one of the final probably frags here. So many choke points to push through. Dynamite covering that. Nita's attacks are about the width of that opening. Very easy defense there.
That was real smooth, and I really liked seeing, we'll celebrate the Scooby Snacks win. They take the game and they take the set, so we'll move on to our next game mode. But I kind of liked seeing the effect of the Gene changes there.
Yeah.
Because he was a vital part of the team, but he wasn't pulling everyone on every cooldown all the time, which was a little bit problematic, before we saw that change. So kind of shout-outs there to the Gene.
Another strong thing is you can see this passive, the star power kind of just ticking away. Nick providing a lot of sustain here where there's not a lot of cover in the middle portion of this map, so they do kind of rely fairly heavily on that.
Yeah.
All these Gene hands missing. I mean, my goodness, by just about the amount of the nerf. It's about 15% or so, so a very worthwhile change, clearly.
Fun stuff. Gene and his team are able to take the first set. So now we're going to move on to Heist. And this one, this is where we get to see the tanky boys. We get to see Daryl. We get to see Bull, especially on side story particularly.
Yeah, it's all about coordinating those dives. And it's very hot or cold. And what I mean by that is you have to make very clear-cut decisions. If you hesitate, there's so much burst damage that goes out with these shotgun characters like Bulls and Daryl's and even Primos if you see him come through there, that if you hesitate and your opponent doesn't, they're just going to get way more damage out than you are because they didn't hesitate. They did get that one extra shot. 1 or 2 extra shots when you're dealing with these characters is a ton of damage.
We see Rico picked here a lot, but since he's banned, we won't get a chance to see it because he does something very different where a lot of the characters we mentioned make use of either breaking the material themselves or getting through and just kind of barrel stuff in the box itself. Rico will kind of sit on the outside and use that pass up to find the ricochet shots. And so with him taken out, a lot more brute force.
Yeah, Rico was buffed recently to all the effects that you kind of mentioned. When you are able to bounce shots, you get bonus damage. That's only the star power, but everybody in this event has those star powers activated. And you could too if you sign up. You know, we'll see what happens after week 8, but when you sign up for these events, all you need to do is have that brawler unlocked on your account. Once you join a private lobby, and this is something you could do at any point with your friends just to kind of play around with the characters you have. And more importantly, figure out which ones you like at power level 10, right? Because it's a big investment. It's a long road to get there on your own in the public game. So figure out who you like, join private lobbies with your friends, and you can play with the star powers unlocked.
Shout out to my Poco.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
I'm 9, baby. I'm waiting on it to get it from the Brawl box. Once you get to 9, I thought there was going to be some other bigger climb, but you literally just have to sit there and get it out of a Brawl box.
Right now, BB and Bull paired up with the Barley, so the Tanky Boys are on the Scooby Snack side. And it's going to be tough as BB gets taken out, but was aggressive, opening the side up for El Bardo.
This is bad. Bull's passive, when he gets lower HP, his attack speed increases. Look at him. He's shredding this save. It does almost 50%. So you might say, oh, Nick got trapped in that corner. That was so bad for him. Nah, man. He completely opened the door for Bull.
Sleight of hand. That's just a magic trick. Look at my left while I hit you with the right, and then bang. Beautiful play there coming out from the Scooby Snacks. Nick takes down one of the Barley players, and here's Nick, launches the bouncy ball. And look at that, 10% left to go.
Very, very nicely done. Bartow just decides to push down Nita and then jukes it out, charges in. One more shot will do it. And the lob from Barley gets it done.
Who are these guys? That's what I want to know. Like, this is a team.
Yeah, they're playing very, very well right now. All started with the Bull, and then once you get somebody, when you get overly defensive in Heist, it's kind of over for you. And you didn't see a great composition to transition. Colt, Barley, Nita wanted to kind of get on the offensive and use their range to stay there safely. Once they get on the back foot, they don't necessarily do well defending in close quarters with a Bull and a BB on the enemy team.
Yeah, you see Colt tried to go for it, but it was a little bit too late. The Colt player had the right idea. A lot of times if you get stuck in that defensive set, you always mention you sort of like keep yourself down by staying down. And it's hard to really find where that opportunity is. Colt looked for it. So a nice shout out to there, but unfortunately it was a little bit too late. And that's really what I'm getting at with Scooby Snacks, where I'm like, who are these people? Because as we move on to Rolling Rumble here for map number 2, you know, it's one thing when you're able to just kind of like out-brawl the opponent. Like, you know, this is a tournament. Sometimes there's different skill levels. This was, not only were they just outright dominant, but you saw the strategy of a higher level squad.
For sure. Heist, it's a lot of like calling your bluff, right? So when I think the Colt does the right thing there by counter diving and trying to get something going for his team, but the misplay would be to respond to that. They are so far ahead. They have the characters to just sit on the safe. The less defense that is there, the more potent their offense becomes, right? So it is sort of, you know, bluff calling, and we need to kind of, yes, we're taking damage, but we're ahead. If we continue to play the way we're playing, we're going to win.
You got to know the DPS race mechanic, right?
Yeah.
Just be like, yeah, is Colt going to do 50% damage in the time my bull does 10?
No. Not even close, man.
No.
Not even close.
Not going to be a thing. So with that look, as we move into map number 2, I'm really excited to see Scooby Snacks, because honestly, if Potpourri pulled this out, it would definitely surprise me. Really what I'm looking here is how clean Scooby can be. Like I said, they took out the top level strategy with the bulls and the thick characters, and then they did their strategy like, look at the left, I'm moving to the right. I want to see more playbook stuff like that.
Yeah, really, really nicely done. They executed well around BB Super as well. I hope that this does go to Game 3, because Bridge Too Far is one of the more fun Heist maps to watch. It's like the very true like vacuum 1v1s all across the map, and you really get to kind of see the mettle of the team.
Well, right now we're going to jump into number 2. And again, Scooby Snacks have some big guys. El Primo. So Primo has been coming out with some of the bands. Without Rosa, Primo kind of rises up a little bit. But again, Primo and Bull, 2 big guys, and Dynamite.
Absolutely, when they can get in there. And Primo is there. Does good damage. Incredibly high reload speed as well. And the tankiest character out there. Just out of range of this Nita. Once he gets her in the corner, though, it'll be a different story. You can see how many times he whips those punches and still has enough HP to get it done. Bull berserking on the safe, though. Tons of damage going out.
Yeah, Colt is going to find the kill onto Primo. And this is a much better situation. And I think it has to do with the composition. The Dynamite on the side of Potpourri is able to provide the cover fire and disallow these tanky characters to get in here because they're melee range.
Oh, you can Let's see, Bartow on the Bulls. Kind of struggling with the line of sights he's working with at the moment. This one, especially without a bull charge, he literally gets nothing done there. Unfortunate the way that position worked out.
Nick just looking to play aggressive.
Oh, he's getting it.
He's walking around. Nobody's looking at Nick.
See what I mean? It's like calling your bluff. Like, Nick literally just walks past 3 people to get some damage on. This is the counter aggression, though. Primo, one of the better guys for the defense. Can he get in there? Can he stop this? Doesn't even matter.
Oh, look, again, right idea, a little bit too late from Poopery. Scooby Snacks, take it again. That's it for Heist.
Yeah, Heist is cool, man. It's really that mental game, the way he just walks past people. They try to counter dive in response, but remember when we talked about this last map as well, when you get ahead, as long as you sort of keep your head down and stay focused on staying ahead, there's really not a lot they can do. They don't suddenly do more damage when they're behind. One of the fun things about Heist is that it doesn't have any comeback mechanic-y sort of things, right? The bolts don't start to spawn faster. You can't lose all of your gems and have your opponents pick them up. There's nothing for them to do to catch up to you.
So if you just build that lead, you're good, baby. Brawl ball, a little bit different. You can still win when down 1. This is if you guys have watched, this is where me and Nick get excited.
Oh, yeah. This one, Brawl Ball has been the mode unequivocally that has given us the most hype plays. Very much enjoyed watching this, not only because it's a game within the game, but you get to see a lot of brawlers that you wouldn't otherwise normally see. We're talking about Frank specifically, even some Mortis, right? Earlier on in the tournament, you'll see some of these better teams really just run the gauntlet and pull out all types of fun stuff.
It's sick because when you look at Gem Grab and you look at Heist and you look at Siege and you look at Bounty, there are strategies for the game mode, right? You know, Piper just works out better in Bounty because long-range skill shots where you're able to provide damage while being safe is just the better mentality. When it comes to Brawl Ball, you can be slow and steady and walk your way up the map, or you can super kick it and have Mortis go chase it into the bank. Like, you can walk it in with Rosa, or you can find these long-range bounce shots. There's so many different approaches, so there's so many different strategies and characters that you can choose. So we see a whole bunch of different brawlers, we see a whole bunch of different compositions, and a whole different bunch of approaches to the game, to the point where you really start to see what your favorite team kind of does.
Yeah, you're almost wondering what is really best here. What do I even think? I've seen so much stuff kind of work. And one of the fun things that you mentioned is like those super kicks and things like that. Destroying parts of the map opens up new shots as the game evolves. If things go into overtime, right, the entire arena just explodes and there's nothing else left on the field to get involved with. But like we kind of mentioned, Frank being a very, very big part of Brawl Ball, at least at the early onset, I have to say, the game feels like it's evolved a little bit. It feels like people have started to develop strategies outside of just being tanky and walking it in.
Well, this is what we see. Frank is really kind of that representative of just, hey, we're going to be tanky, but also kind of clear out space. And the other side, a little bit more tactical with the application of the Spike. Spike is going to be able to provide some defensive plays, while the BB does a little bit of both.
Shelly not very widely seen, I would say, outside of Brawl Ball. You know, she does extremely well against the big, beefy, slow characters, can outrace almost any other character in the game once you get toe-to-toe. Because we see more of them, we see more of her.
Pass over here. BB has the ball. Trying to find a way here. Defense goes to the right side. Collins in trouble as El Bardo gets taken down. Super from BB, but the ball is lost. That would have been the shot. Nick gets the pass, shot on goal, not good. Prod with the perfect timing.
Super kick there defensively, make sure that ball stays safe long enough. If BB had expended her super kick to get that ball in there, I think that would have been a goal.
Oh, pass to El Bardo is good because the kick into the goal. The 1-2, the one-timer. Nice shot there from Scooby Snacks.
You can see there's no way for any destruction to come out from this red squad. They have to get it done just by moving the ball up and effectively eliminating the enemy brawlers. However, when you look at Shelly and Frank, both of them can blow this map to pieces. They've just never had the opportunity to get down on the offense.
That right there, this whole play is all because of Spike. Spike drops to slow. Nita's able to clean up. Here comes the rest of Scooby Snacks. Bardo trying to deal as he tosses out the bear on the left side.
No.
Perfect BB ulta.
Wow.
And here comes Nick playing off the super. 2-zip Scooby Snacks.
Well done. So, right, you don't see any of the destruction of the map come out or be important with Spike, Nita, and BB. However, just playing their range more effectively, right? When you have Shelly and Frank, you're a little bit slow, a little bit immobile. And this is blind pick, right? So these guys are sort of just picking what they feel best about going into a map. You're not necessarily counter picking what the enemy brings. And at the end of the day, I think these guys just managed to put it together better.
Nice save there from Prod, making sure not to waste any time while he's respawning. And then, of course, this is the play where some nice bounces set him up, and nobody moves faster than the ball.
Need it with the zone.
To the shot.
Love it, too. You can see the bear. Very effective, the panda bear today. No Shiba, unfortunately. Still opportunities for improvement, I guess.
Exactly. But, I mean, that's why you are picking Nita here in Brawl Ball. It's an extra defender, just like that. Like, hey, deal with this. That's why we see it sometimes in Siege as well, just another person on the map.
This map, Pinball Dreams, slightly more open, so you might see, especially with the way Game 1 went, with the range advantage in favor of Red, you might see Blue make a small adjustment here to try and compensate for some of that. You know, you get kind of an idea of what they like to run in Brawl Ball. Again, this is blind pick. You're trying to feel this out as you go and pick something that you feel good about, not necessarily responding too heavily to what your opponents are doing. But if you take that risk and catch them off guard, then it's going to pay off.
If I'm Scooby Snacks, I'm sticking to my own game plan. I've shown that I can beat you in multiple different game modes. Our Brawl Ball looks good. I'm just going, hey, boys, what are you good at and what do you want to play?
Yeah.
Because I've got confidence in my own team. If I'm Puppery, I'm definitely looking to turn things around. The Frank mentality didn't do well. You saw that Scooby Snacks were able to outmaneuver the slow tanky guys. Change it up and look for something a little bit more quick.
Yeah, you could see that for sure, and there was nothing overly tanky. Even, BB is fairly tanky, but she has a lot of great control options, could keep that Shelly at distance, or she couldn't be quite as effective. Small comp changes here. We're seeing the Primo and the Bow subbed in for the Frank and Shelly.
And I like these changes because these are just straight killers. They looked last time and they said, all right, they're playing fast and loose. They've got a lot of agile characters with not a lot of HP. So now the Bow, the Primo, the Colt, this composition is designed to kill players. But if you're not playing defense, it doesn't matter if you're alive or dead. Nick just comes through and breaks his ankles.
Nothing but the star power from BB. That extra movement speed, weaving in and out of those shots, getting close enough, effectively nutmegging the Colt all the way down the edge of the field, and gets that one shot on goal. Very nicely done through Nick. That was like as solo of a goal as you could ever see.
Yeah, Nick here coming around right side to the left, trying to get around the Primo one more time. He's already got a single solo goal. Mines will get better.
Yep, that was a really nice attempt, though. You can see literally just trying to get in there and serpentine around, giving his teammates time to get new positions, find new angles, get some poke damage out. It's worked so well for them, as you can see, still keeping Potpourri on the back foot for the most part.
Ardo has the ball for now, taking a lot of damage from this Cult. Nick was the ball carrier before, but it's going to be Collins Light this time. There's the pass over to Nick, puts it on in, and a beautiful play, gets behind the defender. Two for Scooby Snacks.
And sometimes this happens when the defenders aren't expecting the shot on goal. It kind of kicks it over Primo. And there's a little bit of leeway there. If somebody's directly in front of you when you kick the ball, they don't immediately just snatch it out of the air, right? It goes kind of over them, but it actually connects with the Colt. I don't think he was expecting to get the ball, though. He runs into his own goal. It's still technically Nick's goal, but he kind of outplays him in that right.
Yeah, this right here, this is a beautiful play. Nick just trying to get out of here. This is how they tried to find the second skill here. It's not going to happen.
Yep, you can see moving around here very effectively. Spike throwing out some nades to zone, passes it up to Nick, and you can see there, does connect with the Colt, and then unfortunately Prod has to kind of hold that L there as he ends up scoring on his own goal. Nothing he could really do at that point, had to get in front of it. Maybe could have reacted a little bit quicker, but we're splitting hairs at that point.
I like that first one. That was a Carmelo Anthony impression.
Nice.
That was just straight up, this is my ball.
Yeah.
I'm going to score by myself. Walks it in there.
Yeah.
Definitely one of my favorites. Scooby Snacks take the match just like that. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Easy for Scooby.
Yeah, dominant performance there. And you could see that's post-nerf BB as well. That is exactly what was changed about her star power. One of the more heavy-handed nerfs, I think, in the patch, 21% reduction to her movement speed while she has that home run bat swing available to her. Still able to kind of juke out the Colt, who also has a movement speed star power. So, again, just to show and exemplify really how well Nick's moves were.
Just Muckin will be the ones to face Scooby Snacks And Just Muckin is a really interesting team that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. We're actually just going to watch it this time around and see Scooby Snacks, how clean they were, if they can still be clean against Just Muckin, a team that has definitely proven themselves once or twice here in the Brawl Stars Open.
Yeah, it's a fun evolution to watch as you kind of move through the bracket. You see some of these people dominate in the earlier rounds. You're just like, wow, how are they ever going to be stopped? But then you start to see some of the other big names come through, and you start to learn how things can change.
Well, a lot of that is Heist will be our first one, and that's why I was so interested in the Scooby Snacks, was because a lot of times you just see these guys that are, I'm better at Brawl Stars than you, and they'll pick Mortis and Leon, and they just kind of smoke you, and no matter what, because they're just running circles around you. But like I said, this was like high-level strategy that we saw out of Scooby. This wasn't just kind of hitting the shots and finding the kills. This was just good Brawl Stars, and so I don't expect that fall off from them as we get deeper in the tournament.
Yeah, I hope not. And we're seeing some bans come through for you now. Rosa and BB will both be taking a set for the entire duration of this match, so you won't see those brawlers at any point here until we move on. But we will see a rotation of those game modes. Heist will be played first this time, and we will see a rotation of the maps within Heist as well, meaning Bridge Too Far will be played this time.
You excited about that?
I am excited about that. Like I mentioned, it's literally just like 3 lanes at the start. You know, things can change. You can see these walls in the middle can get brought down, and that really sort of spices up this map, allows for quicker rotations, reinforcement, things like that. But at the onset, this is a very fun one to watch. It's very sharpshooter heavy. You might see some Pam here, but you really get to watch each of these vacuum 1v1s happen.
Yeah, it's a very different mentality. Players really lock into their sort of individual prowess as opposed to the teamwork that we usually see on Heist, where, you know, we saw the playbook play, right? Look at the left side when we get the back. No. Win your matchup, boy. That's what this is about. Win it. And if you don't, all of a sudden you and your team are in a bad spot. So everybody kind of got to stand up here. There's no hiding in the shadows on Bridge Too Far.
Exactly. There's nothing to fall back to. And we see maps like that where there's nothing to fall back to. There's no cover out there in the midfield. That's when you start to see people rely on things like Pams and Pocos, where you need sustain. You're going to be taking damage. You have nothing to hide behind. You have nothing to get out of combat with. So the point where we'll see these Pams, and we'll see whichever team gets to the Pam turret first, often really build a lead and kind of snowball out, just because having that sustain allows you to get more aggressive, forces your opponents back, delays their turret even more. We'll have to see if that ends up being the case. It will be just 1 Pam for the side of Just Muckin. Scooby Snacks has foregone the sustain and actually doubled up in the mid lane.
Yeah, Alec is going to be still sticking to the Carl. A lot of people have kind of turned around here, but what I've seen over the past 8 weeks here is that the mid lane Brock dictates a lot of what goes on here in this map.
It's going to be a lot of poke damage coming out. Collins Light pushing into the Brock super. They'll trade out here. Alec within range of Piper. Jukes out the final shot as well. Neither team able to get any safe damage on. And again, this is probably going to come down whenever Pam gets her healing.
See, this is why I said the Brock is also important, you know, to counteract the Pam, because the Brock is the one that can kind of switch lanes. Alec gets the kill, so Collins from the mid lane can still deal damage to the left side, but he dies there. And now all of a sudden it's a bad shot. Just Muckin gets some points out, and it's 31 points worth of damage.
And Carl Super gonna be ready to go. Very nicely done. I want that replay so I can break it down later when I have a little bit more time. Brock Super goes out to mid to keep Keith poked. Runic manages to get some good damage out on the safe as he tries to charge his next turret.
A nice look here from Just Muckin. Proving to be a big, strong opponent for Scooby Snacks. Nick winds up losing the fight versus Alec. Hair of HP. Alec gets the Brock, but he walks into the persistent AoE.
There it is. Another Brock Super comes out from Keith. Pam turret's there to body block a little bit, giving Keith some sustain. But the enemy Brock Super from Collins is enough. Runic cleans it up with a final spray.
You know, I said I didn't expect this team to fall off as hard as some of the others. That's the thing, is that Just Muckin legitimately is one of our top teams here. We look at Just Muckin, we look at Boys Become Men, Stupid Man Carries, Nova Esports, and Sneaky Plantas. That's the top teams. And so here, you know, you're coming up against these guys. This is tough for Scooby Snacks, and that one looked real one-sided.
Yeah, and I know I wanted to mention one of these replays, that what Alec does here so well. You know, he gets the Carl Super available and waits for his enemy to sort of come to him. That was a really nice thing that he did, but specifically,
nice shot.
Nice shot from Nick for sure. But what he does so well is hiding out in the bushes, has his super available to him. I was like wondering, how is he going to play this? What's he going to do here? as Jesse pushes down, he doesn't come out guns blazing. He doesn't come out super blazing. Waits for her to get inside of the bush, rotates away from her, gets the wall in between, or gets her in between the wall and him so he can bounce his pickaxe and do way more damage. It's really the only sort of like way you can increase your damage with Carl is you have to put your target in between you and a wall to bounce back to you quicker, to get more shots off. It was something that was recently changed about Carl, and it's something that's very hard to leverage in the heat of battle.
And right there, that's the key moment. And I think, that's why we see the Carl on the side lanes. You would never put the Carl in the mid because he's not able to really utilize that to his advantage. Here, that's exactly why we see Alec play it specifically on the left side. So a nice look there of the top-level application. And that's what we're talking about when we look at some of the differences between these teams, utilization of those top-level mechanics.
Yeah, very, very nicely done. We will see him run the Carl back. We're going to see, outside of that, a complete switch above the compositions. That's to be expected. Bridge to Vars is very much, niche. Like, you play that map very specifically. The rest of Heist, you are going to see your Bulls, you're going to see your Primos, things like that. Runic making his move towards the safe, procs his Berserk, increased attack speed as he makes his move.
Still trying to be careful as Bardo's following him up, but Bardo dies. Keith is here. Everyone on Just Muckin' has won their matchup. And now Runic trying to get on out. Supers the Heist box.
Nice.
It's all the way down to 63.
Nicely done. Baits Bardo to the corner, kind of moves back in. Doesn't get a ton of damage out, but he effectively burns the enemy Bull super and gets one last shot and one last laugh out on the enemy safe.
Super comes out from Nita right before they die. But a little bit of damage up top. That said, Just Muckin' aren't flawless. They do have some damage on their own box. Scooby Stacks, though, suffering the onslaught here as Alec and Runic both get aggressive. 25% left to go.
And you could see that was just a decision made. Bardo got past the line of scrimmage, so Runic just decided, I'm going to stay up here. It ends up paying off. Remember, once you're ahead, there's nothing to help your enemies come back. So you get ahead, you stay ahead, you let that bear clean it up with a big old Christmas punch.
The VM coming out from Just Muckin'. You gotta love it, though. That's that style we want to see. So a little bit of, just a celebration towards the end.
Absolutely. When you know you're really, really ahead, you want to let your opponent know that you're really, really ahead, and there's nothing much they can do. They get the kill with the Nita Bear there. Very stylistically done there.
Oh, yeah.
As that's going to claim Heist in favor of Just Muckin' as we move on.
Big, tall opponents here. This is how they did it. The first one was just, you see Runic kind of gets deep and distracts El Bardo, most importantly. Before we see the Bull get the damage by being distracted here, the Bull does the distraction. You
might say, like, how does Runic turn that one around? And it's a very, very, like, hair-splitting sort of thing. In Brawl Stars, you have to factor in projectile travel time and things like that. Because Bardo is pushing in to Runic, he's actually taking more damage from Runic shots than Runic is from Bardo because he's running away from Bardo's shots. And it's you can see he lived with like 190 HP. It's because of that tiny little min-max that Runic gets the kill in that specific scenario.
From Heist to Siege, baby. Straight shot is where we're going to go up against. And an interesting one. All of these maps generally have a lot of clutter in the middle, but straight shot is the one with the least amount.
Yeah, you can see there's definitely a somewhat of a meta, I think, to the way that Siege is played, but a lot of it determined by the maps. That's true for basically every single mode here. Penny, one of those more, I think, standard, typically seen characters on Siege, especially after her star power was changed.
Alec, though, on the spicy Mortis is one of the first characters to die here as Nick is able to steal away the bolt as well. Keith looking towards Collins, but now a 2-1 lead for Scooby.
Love Mortis, love the ability for him to just get in there, grab some quick bolts, and get back out. Not sure what the plan was there, to be honest.
I think he thought he had lethal damage, didn't, and realized the turret was going to kill him.
Well, Barto's going to grab another bolt for free, and this will be a 4-1. 5 bolts are factored into the first Siege. Scooby Snacks have the chance to actually, get ahead in one of these games.
Yeah, this is a great look for them to turn things around. Bardo using the stealth to get a little bit closer. Siege bot here. Can't get any kills just yet. In fact, Keith is going to take down Nick. Red team on the push.
You see, sacrificing the penny turret, that's completely fine just to buy some more time. Once the Siege bot steps inside of the ring, it's going to take monumental amounts of damage from the enemy base. And they do a really good job juggling aggro, making sure that they use as much of their HP for the bot to beat on instead of their turret's HP, which is the objective, which is how they win the game.
Keith gets another kill here. Bolt in favor of Just Muckin' as well. Almost no damage the last time Scooby Snacks was able to find the push. Now Runic on the penny gets taken out, but Keith is there to trade.
Nice job, Keith. Slowing down Leon ever so slightly. Does not quite have the damage to take him out entirely. Nice super from Mortis there, and the double kill. Mortis grabs a bunch of burst healing when he does land one of the killing blows, so that's why you see Alec content to get super, super aggressive there.
Love the play here from Alec, and it's going to be a number 5 siege bot from Just Muckin'. Here comes the all-out damage, but Alec loses the trade out to Nick. Keith is going to look for some shots, but it won't be the point. And Runic here just trying to get involved. Penny Turret does the work.
You can see that's such a fun new mechanic introduced basically to Siege. It's very, very reliable here. Nice shot from Runic. He gets the last laugh. Not a ton of damage done on either side, but of course Scooby Snacks are going to be behind after that one.
72 to 92. Right now we're tied. Nope, that's 4 bolts here for Just Muckin'. He's taking a lot of damage as Barley kind of supers the middle, and that was a nice look there from Collins Light. That's how you kind of maintain control of the bolts, but Alec get these kills.
Yeah, he's doing a very, very nice job here, making sure that he lines up those supers, hitting multiple people. You're going to get healing off of multiple people when you can do that. And of course, making sure to land one of those all-important killing blows for Mortis' star power.
This is going to be really scary here, Nick. Level 9 siege bot coming out. Penny Turret doing the dirty work. Alec here by himself, and honestly, should get in there. The players are low.
Yeah, definitely a lot of opportunity here to get some big damage off. You can see Alec gets in there, shreds apart 2 defenders, and that is going to be game. Most of the damage in Siege is done by the players, so once the entire defense is wiped and everyone can turn their full attention onto the enemy turret, you can see just how quickly it melts.
Yeah, it was a fun one watching this one come out, because the first siege bot that came out here, you saw the team kind of play it safe, just a little bit of damage, but then you see the all-out commit once they were content with the secondary siege bot, level 5 I think it was, and so the push was a little bit easier.
Yep, you see really, really good defensive kills. And then specifically on that first siege, you saw Just Muckin' do a really good job bouncing aggro around.
Yeah.
Like I said, using their HP as that big meat shield so their turret doesn't have to take punishment for it. A lot of nice stuff from Alec, though. Bolt control, basically that was his job here. He makes sure that he gets in there, gets kills when he can, and moves around to grab these bolts very, very snappy. When people get too close to him, that's when you can use all of your attacks for damage. You don't have to worry about using them for mobility.
I was watching my man Keith. He was consistently the guy that just put out consistent damage. He wasn't finding a lot of the kills like Runic was with the turret, and we saw some flashy plays out of Mortis. But if Keith wasn't the one keeping everybody at 60% HP from those long-range just cone shots, then a lot of these highlight reel plays wouldn't have been made out. So Keith there, filling the role, doing the job.
It is a shotgun, but you're right. At the end of the day, it has by far the longest range of the shotguns in Brawl Stars.
It's like a pogo shot almost.
And you can't, yeah, for sure. It's got good range on. You're not going to be doing great damage from that distance, but you're just trying to keep people in combat. Shelly's super was recently changed, or star power, I should say, was recently changed to increase the duration of her slow off of her super shot, which gives you more time to catch up to people, really get in a close range and do the real damage that Shelly's capable of.
Game number 2 here. Runic's going to be playing on Daryl the Barrel.
Daryl the Barrel, indeed. A lot of mobility options with this character. You can get in, close the gap, kind of like Mortis, but with more, I think, offensive potency once you do close that gap.
The Gene, still like Gene here on Siege. The ability to pull the Siege bot is unrivaled.
Yeah, and if they're going to be on the back foot the majority of this game, it's something they're going to have to kind of chill out and leverage a good bit. Opening up the map, though, Keith, with some of these Colt supers, offering himself a line of sight to be more effective. And right now, nobody else really has to do anything. Keith is just handling business.
Doesn't even go for the kill. Just lets Nick know. I couldn't catch you. Your life is in my hands, says the Colt player. As soon as I say that, Keith dies, but he gets one as he goes down. Level 4 siege bot for Just Muckin'.
Runic is straight chilling over here, just kind of waiting it out. As a super available, Daryl, the only character in the game that can get the super passively, doesn't have to wait or do any damage to enemy players for it. I'm curious to see what he does, because right now he's really left the steering to his teammates.
See, this is that first bot push that we saw the last time as well. Not really a large commitment. 20% damage, still something worth talking about, but not the giant game-winning push. That first siege bot is really tough to really make a lot of damage done.
Still wondering, what is Runic doing finally with the full commit there? Rolls in on the Gene, gets big damage out. Double roll, if you will, sir. Yes, please. Grabs a bolt, damage reduction shield, keeps him safe as they grab yet another one in the bank.
There's big damage from this Jesse turret. Keith finally decides to turn it off. Nick looks for the bolt, but gets taken out. I don't know about that. That was an oddly aggressive play.
They're desperate. They're desperate at this point. Runic, not the guy to push into, certainly with those double barrel shotguns. Can really pump out the offense. Once you get up in his face, a level 5 bot, not too terrifying to deal with.
Colt
makes a nice little move there to open up a more direct path for their siege bot.
And cool Keith with the Colt over here just nailing it.
He's kind of owning.
Yeah, look at that. The accuracy is insane. Here comes the siege bot push. Alec takes down Bardo. Very few people to play defense. Runic's not even doing anything. I don't know about that one, buddy.
He's chilling for sure.
The team did not push up. And I'm looking at Runic.
I will say, that was a pretty, the bounce that he does with his super to get himself into position to kill Nick was actually kind of sick. So, you know, all the power to him if he's really that confident to just run more of a style pick at this point. Because I'll be honest, it hasn't really felt like he's contributed too much. You're starting to see that felt here the final time. These players aren't even waiting for the siege bot anymore. They're just getting in there and diving these turrets themselves.
Wave after wave of brawlers. That's what they're doing here. Just trying to take down the turret by themselves. 35% is left for Scooby Snacks. Across the way, 69, so a difference in the siege health for sure. Here comes the bot, though, from Scooby, and they're looking to even things up against Just Muckin'.
Wow, but a huge flank from Alec results in not one, not two, but all 3 kills. He hits a gigantic super as well. That defense holds, and basically no damage is done.
Rough stuff. As that was the moment for just for Scooby Snacks to kind of take this game instead. Just Muckin'. Daryl does fall down, 23 HP. Still have control. Tied at 7 as far as bolts are concerned. 18 seconds left in the siege round.
Nicely done there from Keith. Get not one, but 1.5 kills there. Another super goes out from Mortis to keep Nick at bay. The last siege starts in 10 as the lead, the bolt lead, continues to grow for Just Muckin'.
Here's the last siege, 13 coming out. See their push alongside their giant robot, but Collins Light finishes off Keith, and now Scooby Snacks have a good position.
And you might ask yourself, you know, this is the last siege. They're ahead by 35%, 33%. Why is the game still happening? Well, because in some instances when there's 1%, 2% left on a turret, you could see the players just forego the siege bot, dive the turret on their own, and end the game. Not technically during a regulation siege offense, if you will.
This one goes to Just Muckin'. They'll take siege as well. 2-0-2-0. And they're 1 away from moving on to the semifinals.
Yeah, definitely, starting to look like the powerful team that we kind of know them to be. And this is where the competition starts to really turn up. Quarterfinals decides who's in the money. Like we mentioned, we don't play for placing once you make it in the semifinals. You make it to the semifinals, you're guaranteed 150. Every round you win after that, you're doubling your money.
That's not so bad.
No, not at all.
That's not so bad. Man, 8 weeks of this so far, and we've seen Runic and his squad, Just Muckin', really come up, and they haven't made it to finals, or they haven't won the finals just yet. What do you think is keeping them kind of away from that top level?
I think it really comes down to, players playing just a little bit better than them. There's at the top level of almost any competition, things that make a difference are just splitting those hairs, those super, super fine details. And whatever it is, it's the meta shifting, it's different brawlers coming in and out. They just have to sort of bide their time and continue to improve, because if they can do that, they'll find themselves on top in no time, I'm sure. Yeah,
these guys look incredible. Scooby Snacks looked unbeatable last time around, and now Just Muckin' are on the other side beating this team down. So it's an interesting look.
Ooh. Beef Squad.
Yeah.
I mean, normally you see this comp from Scooby Snacks is what you're used to seeing, right?
Yeah.
Vipers, Brocs, sharpshooters on this map. This is the Beef Squad, really, really close and personal. they're going to get that 1-star lead, but I don't know if Just Muckin are playing off of impatience, hoping that Scooby Snacks just gets bored, frustrated, or all of the above, and pushes into them. But at the moment, if the game just comes to an end, Scooby Snacks will technically win.
We'll see how this works then. Because Scooby Snacks, usually what happens, Just Muckin might just jump the last like 30 seconds and decide to make that really the whole game, looking for the last big hurrah. So.
Well, they have Runic super to dive right now. They're going to use to get in on El Barto. He defensively Brock supers, but Runic has enough HP to survive. Now you're starting to see poke damage come out. Poke damage is going to charge these high mobility supers, the bull charge, the primo elbow, and the Daryl barrel roll.
That was a good play there. You see the Piper kind of go from one player to the other, and Alex just waiting with big fists of fury, take down the long range character. That time around though, Keith gets taken down by Collins.
I like the idea, and they need to use these supers if you're Scooby Snacks to clear out these lines of sight. Don't give them cover. Do not give them a safe haven. Just completely open this map up as much as possible.
Runic biding his time. He's not invisible anymore. They know where he is. Piper super gonna come through and bust open the line of sight there on the left side that Runic was so happy to utilize.
There it is, Keith taking some damage now. Full barrel roll. This is the mobility squad that goes in. Alex still needs to grab that first intergalactic elbow, however. It's a 6-star lead. Make it an even bigger one now. 8-star lead as we head into the final 10.
That's what I was talking about. This team is just going to bide their time, sit on their hands till 20 seconds in, get an all-out team wipe, and then sit back and say you don't have enough time. Just Muckin. Game number 1 of Bounty.
Nicely played. Very interestingly done. That was, almost an entirely mental game. I don't know if you'll see them do that in the later rounds, but this is just them knowing that I think they're a little bit stronger. They can coordinate these dives very, very well, very, very effectively, and you're not seeing enough of the terrain destroyed in time for that to be really punished.
Exactly. The terrain punish was just not there. Piper needs an open space. Brock needs an open space. And as you mentioned, they weren't able to get that open space until it was too late.
Yeah, just the amount of mobility this squad has when those supers become available is very important, which again, it's a little something I wanted to just highlight that Keith was doing well. Runic, like we mentioned last game, Daryl's the only character in the game that passively grabs his super. However, Keith made important moves where he was having the HP. He's got 7120 or something like that HP. He can peek out and get these little 300 to 500 damage pokes just to get something going to charge his super, because without those supers available, the mobility's not there for that composition and they're never able to get aggressive.
Well, this time around, a much different look as well. Alec going to be playing on the Speedy Mortis. Dashes up to the top. Will take the first star and play defensively.
Little popcorn Rico. Everybody playing defensively because of that 1-star advantage. Now you kind of get to see the flip side. What does Scooby Snacks do when they are not in control? They're not in the driver's seat here. Damage coming out from Penny. Every time she's able to connect one of these little carrot bombs, you can see the spread damage being very effective as well. Keith just sitting here lobbing bottles of syrup. Nice connections from Runic as well.
Yeah, big deal with these two players, and I think this is what's really nice about this map is that this composition is built it's built specifically for the map. The Mortis is going to dash up forward and grab that star in the middle, and then Keith and Runic can sit behind safety and kill players without even any threat to themselves.
Yep, there's only one way that this Scooby Snacks composition can destroy terrain, and that's with the Piper, being ballsy enough to just walk up, drop her super, drop the grenades, and get that thing cleared herself.
Nick with a nice shot, though, does find Runic. Runic's going to go right back to where he came from. Nick with the flank, though, is going to force everybody else to move. Keith getting shot.
He's got that angle. He knows he does, but Keith remaining steadfast here in his corner and playing around that. Runic going to open up the map just a little bit more. Throwing out that spicy Mike super there, destroying some of that terrain.
7-7, though, tied up here. This is about the time that Just Muckin hit the gas in game number 1. There's trouble as El Barno walking through all the nonsense that Keith is looking for, and he gets the kill. 9-7, 14 to go.
Runic just gets out of here safely. I think they're going to be in a good spot to hold this one. Barley's got this entire corridor locked down. He's going to be able to poke anyone out that comes through. You're seeing that put into play now. 3 seconds on the clock, unless somebody dies here. And, well, doesn't die the right way to bring this game back.
Just Muckin cleanly takes care of Scooby, who cleanly took care of their last opponent. So really interesting kind of bop, bop, bop.
Yeah.
As Just Muckin bop, bop, bop Scooby right after the fact.
This is the way it goes, though. You see these earlier round teams look so dominant, but then you start to see, the big boys. These guys, Just Muckin, this could happen to them later. You look at this squad, you look at how they perform, you say, how could they ever be stopped? But just you sit tight and wait.
I mean, I came into this one, thinking, this is an interesting piece of analysis. Scooby Snacks are bringing top-level strategies.
Yeah.
And they did. Just Muckin didn't in every game and still won. That's scary.
That is what's scary about them, bringing a lot of different compositions while they do it. So looking good and performing well. Now we're taking a look at the bracket here. Evolve, No You Esports, Just Muckin, Scooby Snacks. We just watched that. Big Boys, Turtle Syrup, all other matches that we're excited to see the results of. Evolve is the next squad that we are going to be watching, and No You Esports in the quarterfinals.
Gotta love that one. No You
No You.
Esports. Capital S. We don't like that.
Oof.
The next round, though,
You're right.
we like that. Stay tuned for some more Brawl Stars Open North America.
Welcome back to the Brawl Stars Open North America, presented by Skillshot. My name is Finch. I'm joined by Graham Handyman Hatfield. I'm happy to have you here with me.
Thanks,
as
Finch.
we're still in the quarterfinals even now.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see how the final week of the Open goes. This is week 8. We've been doing this for, 7 weeks so far. Obviously,
Good math,
this is week
yeah.
8. I'm doing very good at that. Thank you. But it's really good to see what developments we're seeing with the patches coming through, the updates
Yes.
that have been happening. One right around the corner as well. We'll hopefully get to see more about that in the future. But for now, this final week, I'm excited to see, with all the teams back in action, how the meta's really changed up.
That's right. BB's kind of risen up through the ranks, hasn't she? Even getting banned, I think, in that last set, too. I mean, taking a big eye towards those tanks.
I think a lot of us kind of saw it coming when we saw Rosa being focused a little bit in the updates in terms of some nerfs here. Let's have a look at the bracket for you all and where we starting.
That's right. You saw it was No You Esports and Evolve. Those are the teams that we're going to be following along with. We got the bans for them already. No Penny, no Jean. The Jean one pretty standard, but Penny did just get changed, right, with the way that turret works. So maybe that's why getting valued a little bit more here.
Yeah, take into account all these games have played at power rank 10 as well, so Penny will have that feature available for her where her turret dies. It explodes and does a lot of damage to targets in close proximity areas. It'll actually almost auto-hone, so no surprise to see it taken away.
All right, well, the Heist we go. This is the truly 3-lane map. That's why we see Pam's on both sides. She's going to want to get that super online, can place it pretty close to the center and heal up the squad, though it's Brock's on both sides as well. The only difference, though, is the Carl compared to the Piper. And the Piper should be able to do quite well here, but Carl's moved in aggressively and won the 1v1 up against the Pam and takes the turret off as well. Beastinator coming in hot.
This is a good start for No You Esports here because they've got pressure on the left and the mid lane. Gives Toonie a bit of a window for some extra damage. I was interested to see how this started out, you know? Not putting Brock against Brock in the mid lane. That sometimes screams to me that the Brock's not as comfortable. But Search and Destroy in this Piper has to get back in action now and does so well.
That's huge, though, too, because Beastinator's kind of been giving Wilson the hands over on that left-hand side. So Search and Destroy picking up a bit of the slack and hitting these long-range Piper shots. That is sending this Brock on the run as well. But look at Slash, who's made his way all the way up on the right-hand side and found a good bit of damage onto that safe as well.
And that's the issue we're seeing for Evolve here. Sure, they're trying to do well in the laning phase of holding back No You Esports, but they've got no damage off in the safe so far. And already we're starting at almost at 70%, where they've lost 30% of their safe at the moment.
But Wilson's done quite a bit of work to gain some position. Search and Destroy can move up and put the hands on a Slash. That Pam now ends up falling as well. Beastinator trying his best with the super, and he caught Wilson this way earlier. It ends up being a 1-for-1, though.
Feels like No You Esports have just played the matchups a little bit better in their laning phases. They recognize what their opposition was going to do in each of the lanes, the Brock versus the Piper, for example, and now Tooney's correcting that to take on Rigsby on the right-hand side.
Well, that's the ultimate used by Search and Destroy. That's opened up those walls and allowed Tooney to move in and push alongside Slash. But without the super, not a ton going the way of trying to keep Tooney up. That's how come Search and Destroy finds one more easy shot. But at this point, though, No You has slowly, steadily found more and more ways in. I mean, look at the way the safe damage is compared. Evolve hasn't even gotten close.
I was going to say, when Search and Destroy was just pushing up that right-hand side there was a window for Evolve to get aggressive, but the door's been shut again, and Tooney going to be able to use the super onto the safe for even more action. Keep an eye on left-hand side, though. Beastinator's got a window to slip through.
Largely unchecked, does move in and find some shots. Now it's up to Rigsby to somehow keep this man at bay, but that is a Carl super saying hello, and that's it for the safe. No You Esports out on the board first.
Yeah, really not upset with target selection or brawler selection in both those teams there.
Sure.
I just honestly think Evolve didn't play it as well as their opposition in that matchup. Basically, the initial start, whether you go mid, right, or left, can really be dictative of how the game gets played out.
Yes.
I don't think they've really corrected things correctly for themselves in their playstyle.
And that's what I want to ask you there is how realistic is it to try and switch up? Because I think Wilson was in a really tough spot up against Beastinator here on the Carl when he was on the Pam. And I guess that's the first thing. Do you like that matchup? But if not, can you even change it in the middle of the game?
The bigger issue. The matchup specifically isn't too bad for Wilson on the Pam against the Carl. The problem is Carl's going to have a fun against any of these characters. Pam's not going to be as direct with her damage to get a kill onto Carl. He needs someone like Brock or Piper to shut him down. But they're so squishy that all he has to do is hit them once, and he would take them out as well. Maybe a bit of a switch up from Evolve this game. Maybe not running two backline damage dealers in the Piper and the Brock might be the call. Sometimes matching fire with fire is the right way to go about it. So maybe they take a call for themselves. Could be a good look.
Again, that's it for that map, though. We'll be moving on to the next one. We'll see what some adjustments is that they try and make there. For the most part, though, these teams went fairly the same. It was just the Carl and the Piper that were different. But this time, we have a completely different look. Bull, Primo, and Carl selected for Evolve, which makes her a pretty scary team that's hard to beat. On the other side, though, Barley, Bull, and Rosa to get the job done. So Beastinator are going to be the one bringing in tons of damage. You can already see it working with Tooney, and they've already hit home.
Yeah, I do like the Bull versus Bull matchup. Primo being thrown in here. Okay, that kind of matches what Rosa's going to bring. But Beastinator getting to play the Barley here. That's more important for me because of the long range. Be able to hide around here, cut off the angles, still deal damage.
Well, that's exactly the pitch you were just talking about there, working well. Tooney doing work. Rigsby the one that gets punished. Wilson has struggled throughout the entirety of this game here so far. And look at the safe damage already, down to 25%.
I noticed No You Esports there. Tooney Toonie and Slash both low on health. They don't want to die and give up overall position, so go back, regen a little bit, and then commit for the end.
Well, just like that, it's over. You'd be forgiven if you blinked and missed it, but already No You Esports have claimed Heist for themselves, and that happened so fast. I think that comes down to their composition more than anything. Those brawlers they picked, it was going to be so hard for them to lose individual 1v1s.
On a map like that, you're always looking for long-range damage if you can find it. Bolly definitely brings that. But take into account that ball that got through, all he had to do was use the super, destroy the terrain, and it created an avenue to just keep on bursting through and keep Evolve on the back foot consistently. Evolve went for a full 3-man tanky lineup. On this map, it's not always going to work out as well as you were hoping for, with all the narrow corridors and long range and, well, positions to juke around.
Yeah, and Search and Destroy, I don't know if he was able to get involved early enough.
He was searching.
Toonie was able to, but not destroying, right? Toonie was able to work really well along with the Rosa to try and grab some early fights, but we'll go ahead and move right into Siege. We saw this last time. It took a little while for this one to go. I imagine it'll be a bit slower. Siege matches often can be. Let's see if No You can keep up their momentum or if Evolve can answer back.
Evolve, though, 2 long-range characters again. We saw this in the first map they played, but now they default into just the one front-lining Call here. But having a bit more front-lining Call and Rosa for No You Esports is going to help them out on picking up these bolts in the early game.
This one goes down, Search and Destroy just barely survives, but map control now entirely favoring No You Esports. Rigsby, what can you do between the Brock and the Carl? Just too much range, and one more kill comes their way. They're controlling 4 bolts already. This first Siege is a little bit more than what we normally see.
Yeah, this is definitely something to do with a competitive experience level versus a team that's more starting out. Look at No You Esports and their positioning. Slash to the left-hand side the whole time, Beastinator locking down mid and Toonie on the right-hand side, and just keeping Evolve pinned in their own half the entire time, all the while allowing the bots to come on through. Let's see what they can do against the bot, though.
Rigsby drops the ult just to try and keep the bot out. Beastinator responds with an ult of his own, not just for damage, but breaking down the wall. That gets the bot right in close, and already well below 40% off the very first bot. This is so much damage. We don't see it like this often.
That could have been a win. If Toonie and Beastinator commit there and keep firing damage in, they could have ended off that very first push, in all honesty.
Sure.
But Toonie and Beastinator decide to play the safer approach. They stay back, they hold the position to allow Slash to respawn, and they don't give up all the bolts at the start of the next round.
Yeah, if they control the map the way they've done so far, then yeah, go ahead and take a second spawn, because you're the ones that'll be getting it already a full 4-bolt-to-0 lead.
You mentioned that on Beastinator as well, Finch, which I really like. Using the super to destroy the walls in front, it makes it a lot easier for Slash and Toonie to walk on in and get a little bit of damage off on towards the turret in the grand scheme of things. But more importantly, the bot will get there a little bit easier as well without having to walk all the way around.
It's essentially buying it more time where it's able to get home a lot sooner than having to take up as much extra damage. But a level 7 Siege bot on its way, and if a level 5 was able to do 83% of the work, then this last 17 shouldn't be too difficult at all. An easy cleanup here for No You Esports, and so far they have just been the dominant team.
Definitely a quarterfinal matchup that you can see. You can see just in terms of the trophies there between the two. There's about 200 difference overall in each of the characters. There's a little bit of an experience gap at the moment, and a lot of that is just the competitive edge of playing more and realizing that sometimes you need more long-range damage and sometimes you need the melees. And I think that's where Evolve has just been going wrong so far.
Yeah, I think so too, and this Rosa pick has really been a problem, I would say, so far. Slash has been playing it very, very well when he's able to team up with Toonie as well for some extra damage. But No You just controlling that left side, like you said, that initial push-up from Evolve never had a chance of working with how much Slash is able to tank up, and then you could rely on Beastinator for some follow-up damage.
No, not at all. You also saw Carl had to deal with a Rosa, and Carl dealing with Rosa means that he can't go off and kill the squishy backline
like
that is susceptible in the grand scheme of things. So it makes it very, very awkward to try and get the damage out. What I want to see a little bit more from Evolve going into the next one, though, is trying to play to the map, not necessarily what they think it's going to be good, because they're like, okay, 3 tanks, okay, 2 DPS, 1 tank, okay, 2 tanks, 1 DPS. Just go to the map. This one, Assembly Attack, definitely feels like you're looking for probably 2 tanks, 1 DPS.
And that's right. And this time you don't have to worry about that pool sort of in front of it as well. It's just the destructible wall, so if you can make it through that, you can move right in. But BB has been selected here for Evolve this time on both sides, actually. Things changed up a little bit. Maybe planning to try and get some of those supers bouncing in there on those walls.
Love BB as well. The supers in the walls, correct. makes really, really useful. Also in these narrow corridors in the lanes to an extent they've created. But more importantly for me, it's the mobility. Able to get in range and also knock back characters can really put them in a rough spot. And you can already see how far back Evolve is being pushed now at the moment, just by the positioning by No U Esports.
Wilson, though, tries to go right to the heart of the problem and find that Barley up top. Able to survive, though. Meanwhile, Tooney and Slash do enough work to mean Wilson gets no backup, but a nice kill as Tooney goes down, and the super chunkin' Beastinator. Maybe Evolve actually can stick around this time, though the Bolt's advantage clearly favoring No U.
You know, sometimes watching the match, you can end up just falling into the trap of watching the damage right now as you see Tooney look for Rixby there. But watch the jukes more importantly. Slash is doing really well on this BB. Sure, he's not found a lot of kills at the moment, but he's keeping people busy and he's staying alive, which is allowing him to be in a pretty good spot here.
And yet again, they opened up that front path. That means the Siege bot walks right down Broad Street, and already 50% yet again, and Slash
Really
even still standing. In comes the Barley Super. That just might be enough of the very first Siege bot. We are done with Siege, just like that. Perhaps our longest game mode, except maybe Bounty, and it's over this quickly. It's hard to put to words.
And credit where it's due, everyone kind of did on the squad there of No U Esports exactly what they needed to. Brock opens up the doorway for the Siege bot to run on through. Bolly's there for the damage in the AoE area. And then Slash at the end of the day, what does he end up doing in the BB? Walking in the backside and then killing everybody who's trying to deal with the Siege turret.
Yeah, whether it's the Rosa or the BB, Slash does such a good job creating space. Already he's able to kind of wiggle past Rigby's damage and then start zoning him away. He can't follow up with anybody else to try and help out in that center lane or, God forbid, the right lane. And that control that they had, they maintained it throughout the entirety of that game.
Now I'm worried a little bit for Evolve going to the third map because it's do
be
or
hard not
die
to be.
for them, right? It's a third game mode we're going to go into. They have to find a victory here or they're out of the tournament. And No U Esports are going to progress to the semi-final, which is looking very likely at this moment in time.
Yes, the way that No U's been playing as a team has really been hard for Evolve to try and top. And that's a difference. If the gap is experience, it hasn't been, I don't think, big glaring composition issues or picking the wrong brawlers. If it is experience, that's tough to overcome in just one, set.
Reps at the gym. That's kind of what it is. The more you play, the better you'll begin. But a Bo this time for No U Esports. I've seen Bo on the rise. No real surprise to see him in this map as well.
Got a little bit of love recently as both teams agree on which comp is better. It just comes down to who plays it better. And yet again, I'll be calling Slash's name. He finds our first kill of this contest, and already 3 stars favoring No U. In all honesty, aggression no longer required, but that has not slowed them down as they continue to control the center of the map.
A lot of confidence from No Esports, though, to be out in the open
there you
like
go.
that. And they get punished for it as well. Wilson, Search, and Destroy. You can't sit out in the open in Bounty for the most part because you're just going to get picked apart by these long-range pokes. So you generally want to sit in the bushes, try and cover the angles, sneak your head out when you can, and find the right window. But Search and Destroy gets taken out.
What a shot from Beastinator. Clearly knew where they were there inside the bushes. They'd already used those Brock talents to try and make sure they kind of cornered them in with those flames left on the back of the rockets. And that opened up then for Beastinator to know this is the only place he could be. Lands the shot. And just like that, they've reclaimed the star lead, though still playing further out in the open perhaps than I'd have expected.
Tell you what, Wilson would be like calculated there on that left-hand side. He got hit by the mine from Slash, but then avoided just enough damage to not end up dying. Beastinator, in my eyes, should have got the kill onto Wilson there on that left. He dropped the opportunity in my eyes.
Could not quite grab it, so still the star lead rests with No U. Search to Destroy, more destroy than anything else there as he takes a Brock super right to the face. Rigsby, Wilson, and Search and Destroy still have some time left, about 30 seconds.
That's good.
They don't have to push now, but that delays it. Tooney is able to find the snipe, and they got to wait for the respawn before they can move up.
Problem is 20 seconds left, Finch. They've got to get themselves 4 stars from No U Esports, and to do that, they've got to run into them, and they've got to run in now.
It's been made even harder now by that last shot. Beastinator keeps him pinned. Search and Destroy can't outfire. And with 10 seconds left, barring a miracle, this one is locked up for No U Esports to put Evolve down with 1 more point until they're just out of the tournament.
Confidence from No U Esports really shining through there.
Oh,
sure,
yeah.
get punished a little bit in the early game with being out in the open, but you can see if you do have a lead and they've got to keep running and you destroyed some terrain, it makes it very easy to lock down those shots as well. Well played from No U.
Yeah, and No U, like you said, I think confidence was the clear thing that was coming from this team just now. Now, we don't normally see them play Bounty quite that way once they have the star lead, but clearly confident. Even when they lost it a little bit towards the beginning, they took perhaps some unnecessary deaths, they were still able to move back in.
I take into account, you can afford to lose a map at the moment. If you're up 2-0, 2-0 in a series that's a best of 5, you're going to be in a very strong spot to feel and play with confidence a little bit more. Because generally in Bounty, what you'll see is 1 or 2 kills. A lot of positional fights more than anything else, but not often you'll see people out in the open like we saw from No You Esports in the early game. That was them definitely playing with a bit more swagger.
And it's so interesting because Evolve clearly have the right reads on their composition, right? No You has mirrored them for the most part. There have been maybe one, brawler differences throughout most of these matches, so it's been very interesting that they've had that read right. This, though, is a difference. We do see Poco a lot here, though, so he's on both sides.
Yeah, 2 healers for both teams here.
And 2 cams, yeah.
But I'm interested by the Rosa. So this is really Rosa versus Daryl more than anything else. What can Rigsby and Slash end up doing on these characters? Now, Slash, great for mobility around the map with that super to his advantage. The other 2 focus on sustain. We could be here a while.
And it looks like the swap up from Evolve was that they wanted to get in quick. They moved right into center control, plopped down Wilson's ult, or super rather, on Pam, and now they've maintained control. But in goes Slash right away. That's how you got to use Daryl if you pick him, and that sets up for Tuna to take down Wilson.
Game plan really is to try and burn as many of the healing supers as possible early in the engagement and then find a pick after the fact. No You Esports just managed to pull that off by taking out Wilson there and the star in the middle, don't forget. So now you're in a pretty good spot, and now it's up to Evolve to charge on in and get brutally forced back.
Search and Destroy going to try and keep them topped up on that Poco, but for the most part, it's not enough. Tooney claims the first head here, and this one now up 5 stars. They send Evolve running back.
Slash using the super. Every single time you see the Rosa play by Rigsby try and super up and charge on in, Daryl's like, no, I'm going to use my super, knock you up in the air, and keep you in position so my team can keep dealing damage. Really well played.
They've done it cleanly here so far in Evolve, running out of options. I mean, really, it's just this little bit of cover, and then the Pam super that's keeping them topped up. And yet again, Daryl moves in from Slash. That keeps Search and Destroy off his balance. And again, they can't keep the heals up. It's not enough. It's too much damage coming through.
And Slash doing such a good job of using the super, then getting another super up to dash back through with his super, and then he's still got Poco waiting for him. BusyNet is like, yeah, you in trouble? No problem. Here's a super to heal you up.
Another Poco heal, and look at that. It's almost like No You Esports are never in a fight in the first place. 9-0. Pure control from No You throughout the entirety of this match. And really, I mean, Evolve, they're trying their best to make their way in there, but I just don't see a way they can take this back.
So that's going to be No You advance. There's no way unless some absolute miracle happens at the last second, which won't happen today, unfortunately. We'll see an advance out of No You Esports.
Wow.
I'm more interested, Finch, in who they end up playing against in the next round, because they look pretty good, this team, but they've still got some things to work on for sure.
And that's what we can see sometimes. Even as far deep into the tournament as the quarterfinals, we can still get some of these mismatches occasionally. So which one of them could stick around? I mean, we saw it with Snoopy Snacks, but then as soon as they moved over and played up against Muck, then they were the ones who looked a bit outclassed. So it can happen sometimes in these rounds. Can No You hold on and keep up this level of performance?
Generally, by the end of the second game mode, you get an idea of how confident each team feels about it, because you'll normally see the losing team try and make wild, outlandish adjustments sometimes to correct some of their issues. But then if you're the winning team, you're also the one that has a bit more fun, a bit more freedom to try and play around and showboat a little bit, is the way I'm looking for.
And Rigsby tried to match what Slash had been doing by switching over to the Rosa, something that Slash had been playing very well, that brawler in particular. But then he switches it up on this last one, right? Goes to the Daryl, and then shows some actual supreme Daryl value. So already moved on into the semifinals, did No You Esports. So then they're going to be going up against Just Muckin'. A very interesting match, as Just Muckin' has looked really, really strong so far.
Just Muckin', one of these teams that's been around for a while, though. Played pretty much from week 1 with the boys of Runic and such as well. We'll see how well they do today, because now that we've just got to see No You Esports as well, we know this is going to be a really good matchup in the semi-final.
Well, we're hoping so. We know Just Muckin's a strong team. They've been that way throughout the entirety of this, but do we know that same amount about No You, right? This
Not
feels
particularly.
Like
I recognize Tooney for sure, 100%. I'm sorry, there's so many new players for me to learn in Brawl Stars in terms of not just the brawlers themselves, but also these players and how well they play it. But here's a little look at the bracket of how the semis are going to get played out. Set 1, Siege, onto Brawl Ball, then Heist, and if required, we'll move on to Bounty and Gem Grab 2. Always interesting to see a bit of Brawl Ball early on. That's my motto.
I think so, too. We've got a lot of the high skill cap ones up early, I feel like. As much as I love Gem Grab, you know, it feels like the more...
bread and butter.
Right, yeah, the one that everyone gets to play all the time. We're starting out with some very interesting ones here at the top, and Brawl Ball, I think, creates a lot of room for you to see different styles of play. But we'll get onto that one once we make it to that second mode. Just Muck and take the BB out. No, you ban the Gene. Those make sense. Those are really strong brawlers, but Rosa still makes it through and will still be plenty strong.
What a time to be alive where it's not Rosa being banned out. I expect expected Rosa bans all the time, but I think the adjustments that Supercell have made clearly have brought her back in line a little bit more. So we're seeing a bit more diversity in the pool. Jean, though, still being banned out, even with after the range nurse. I'm kind of surprised at that.
But he is so strong. You
Sure.
can't consider, I think, the mode particular because if in a perfect world, you do only play those 3, but he is particularly strong here in Siege, maybe trying to get off to a good start where he can't pull those actual Siege bots out of the way as we go to nuts and bolts here first on this one.
Yeah, and this map is more to do. Realistically, this is more about just getting nice long-range poke. I wouldn't mind a call on this map for the most part.
Sure.
Brock Barley can be semi-useful. I'm pretty sure we'll see a Rosa for sure, though.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, especially in a world where BB has been taken away already, that does limit that tank pool a little bit.
It can lead into a bit of a bull maybe pick up instead
Bull
of the
mania.
Rosa, just because Rosa's not got as many brushes this game to be able to, do anything too useful, honestly. So maybe see a bull, could be the Rosas as well.
No, I would not be surprised if we see. I mean, Rosa's just been dominant up until this point, hasn't she? It feels like because of that shield she's able to put on, it makes her so much stronger as well, able to go in and play aggressive. Once she gets in close, there's so few, I feel like, who have answers to it.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that you have an issue with sometimes. One of the characters, though, that you can see, one of the brawlers, I should say, that's pretty useful on consistent maps, but it's all about zone control. He's Barley. He's great for objective damage because it burns the ground around the area where he lands the damage. But not only that, he's also very good at zoning areas away for stopping the narrow corridors. Sometimes not really useful on this mode, but he can still get a ton of damage on in the late game if he gets the window too.
Good call by highlighting the Barley, as we'll certainly be seeing him ringing true here on both teams this time. Along with the Penny, Roses on both sides as well, so they've agreed on which comps to go with here yet again.
And the Pennies, I didn't even mention that because she was banned last round. I forgot to mention how useful Penny could be in the later stages now. Initial damage, the rocket shot is pretty painful, but it's got to be a direct shot to really make an impact. But more importantly, it's the turret that comes into play with Penny.
Yes.
It can make a world of hurt. Makes you keep moving, you can't just stay still in the brush. But on top of that, when he dies, well, it does a ton of damage to everybody around it if he finds those bombs.
Alec died for that kill to Tooney. It cost him his life, but he does end up doing the trade. But look at what it's opened up for the rest of the team. Just to muck and control. The center ended up 4-1 in Bolt, and that's a Siege bot here ready to start rocking and rolling. There are plenty of supers available, though, so no, you should be able to put out some strong answers.
Now, this just kind of shows already the difference in Brawl Stars as the levels increase, the difficulty level of the skill gap between players. No, your esports looked dominant last time round, but here, struggling a little bit early on in the late matchups.
And I think it was that call Alec made to push forward and ensure he got the trade up against the other Rosa. That does net them over 40% damage already just off that first Siege bot spawn. Not bad at all. Even committing the Penny turret there. A bit surprised from Runic.
Yeah, but the Penny turret as well can deal damage onto the turret as well with the bombs that land out. It can at least get some incidental damage. If you can keep them all chipped down in health, though, like no esports are, stop them regenning, it makes them very difficult to get in here and try and pick up these bolts.
Keith controls it again. Tooney trying to reclaim some ground, but Alex says no, no, no to that. Even with the Barley super, Alec gets yet another punish, and we shall be having another Siege bot here. Looks like on the side of Just Muck, and they're up 6-3.
Gotta give credit to Alec. I do feel like
man.
Alec does a very good job of calculating how much damage he's going to receive and whether it's worthwhile or too risky. And he's finding a good window on the left-hand side to punish Slash for overextending here, too.
Slash has pulled Alec way back, so maybe he sacrificed his life to try and keep this Rosa out of the equation for a while, but it has not yet deterred Just Muckin.
Don't worry, though. Barley's there to the rescue. Keith just throwing in those Molotovs time and time again to keep the burn on ticking.
Gracious.
And Just Muckin will take map 1 just like that.
Well, this is exactly the kind of thing I was talking about, right? Which is that no, you can look dominant in one moment, but then when you're up against Just Muckin, you can end up looking a bit weaker. But to be fair, a lot of teams struggle against Just Muckin. That's how strong this team is. And you mentioned Alex play.
And Just Muckin can be a very strong team, but I've seen them struggle some weeks as well. Like
maybe if they get
round one,
planted,
round two.
yeah.
So it shows like any given week, you can have a good week or a bad week. But I think we've been the final one. It wouldn't surprise me to see Just Muckin really put their all into this tournament this final week.
I see what you're saying. I mean, this is the last one. Like you said, this is week 8, so this team absolutely going to be pulling out all the stops, and they did it here on this map. Alex's presence was, of course, noted, but Keith did such a good job judging his distances as well. I think he did outclass Beastinator a good bit here on that Barley in this map, and you saw the beneficiaries of that were Just Muckin.
And then one of the things I didn't get to finish off on the zone control with Barley really is just currying off the corridors more than anything else. Stops people getting into the brushes and hiding in there. Wouldn't be surprised to maybe see a little bit more Barley in this on some assembly required. Penny 2, more than likely.
And we saw a curious penny play on that one. Recall moved all the way toward, like, down that left-hand side beyond even the siege bot to maybe try and pull the Rosa away. Do you know what he was looking for on that play with that penny?
I think realistically with the penny play, which one are you talking about? When he went down the left-hand
He
side?
was way tucked down in there.
I think he was just trying to get the init turret damage from distance, but here's a little look at Penny real quick, and to do with exactly what she brings to the battlefield. Her damage is pretty high, but it's very, very tricky to land. The speed of the projectiles is a little bit slower than you anticipate at the top end. Sure, medium range will connect quite often.
Pennies on both sides here, but a spike, we do not always see that. Frank here as well, of course. Barley has still made his way through, but Alec wants this big tanky presence. He was able to do it last time on the Rosa. Can he do it yet again here on the Frank? Though he does catch some hands. Slash comes out on top that time.
So here's the game plan. Early game, it should be no UE esports because they've got the spike who can shoot around these corridors and also throw the super to deny whole areas. But as the game continues, Frank and his supers will destroy all this terrain, and it kind of limits some of what Spike's going to be able to bring with these angles instead. Alec just needs to find some damage so he can build up the super and start wailing away on terrain like this.
And already he's opened it up top. Now Slash will yet again grab the kill, but as you said, if your game plan for just mucking is more long-term, then you still feel good, especially since you're the one summoning the very first siege bot. Though it is only level 3, that's about what you'd normally expect. These level 5s we've been seeing off the first ones aren't always that common.
No, so this is just no EU esports that was adjusting pretty well. They've done a good job of keeping damage off from the siege bot turret there. But after the fact, Alec's still going to go in there and try and build up the super a little bit more is what he was really after. He wanted to catch Tooney, but Tooney just recognized that at the tail end. Avoids dying and avoids giving some charge towards that Frank.
They did turn that siege bot into 42% damage. Not bad at all for your first push, though. They are a bit down in bolts. Might not matter, though, if they continue to control the map like this. Slash and Tooney low on HP, have to fall back. Barley super from Beastinator to try and push them back a little bit further. But I don't know if it's been enough. Runic found a nice little nook to hide out in.
Runic's turret was like right on the line where you want it to be as well. And I love the fact that just Mucking is setting Keith on his own on this roster to the left-hand side. Let Frank and Penny group up together and cause problems on the right. Keith's going to lock down the left on his own. As long as he keeps his juke boots on, he'll be pretty fine.
Another siege bot making its way through. Supers available yet again. Slash in particular and Beastinator, watch how they use theirs. If they're going to slow down this siege bot, it will be through them, but Keith looping around the left-hand side takes Slash out of the equation way too early.
Slash was just trying to zone him away, but they could have really used that super for defensive purposes if they could have. Instead, they invested for the Rosa. And it doesn't work out overall in the greatest grand scheme of things here in favor of No U Esports. They need these bolts now.
That's exactly right. No U have clung to life. They did not lose off that last push, but things don't look particularly good for them. Beastinator is at least able to find Keith up top. Runic going to drop as well, but even still they've been forced to fall back.
Well, Finch, this is the next siege bot. This one's very important for No U Esports.
They need it.
They're going to get probably like a level 8, I think, here. Maybe a 9 if they're super lucky in the last few seconds here. Oh, actually, no, 11? Okay. No EU Esports should full commit to this, I think.
They gotta.
If they go for another one, there will be one more siege bot after this, though, so take that into account. This is a good comeback from No U.
It's been strong from them, and now they're getting ready, but look at just Muckin. They don't even need it. They're just going to push in off the top of the Frank. What I mean, and this is what I'm saying. It had to be the call because they gave up so much of the center control and weren't worried about the bolts any longer.
No, what you can clearly see there is Frank's just very, very powerful and can tank a couple of shots as well.
Yeah.
So he just charges in, pops the super, but at the same time, he's also got the Penny and backup firing shots and trying to use the cannon. It was well played from them because I think they realized themselves like, well, if we do this strategy, we could end up losing because they could just push in with a level 15 to 17 bot on the other side.
And it was potentially scary. That's, remember earlier on, as they destroy that terrain and make that exact play easier and easier to potentially get off, and the Frank's able to just kind of push in. They earned that, though, off those first two siege bots and the percentage they were able to get down. They only needed, what, 18, maybe even less, like 12% on that third push.
But they did a hell of a lot of damage on that just consistently. I just guess I didn't see the exact window where the extra damage came from because it wasn't just Frank alone. I'm guessing Runic did get some good shots off and the turret came into play a little bit on that last little push. It was 7% here. 7%. I'm trying to work out where the damage came from. Ah, yeah, the turret. There you go. Turret comes out. The bombs go in, but also Frank at the same time.
Yeah, maybe like a couple went up top. Some went down towards the opposition. But for the most part, that Penny turret, they clearly made the call. Even though it cost Runic his life, he got the turret in, which is really all they needed.
And I think with the Frank play there at the end, you actually saw the commit of the turret first, saw the health bar and went, well, I should be committing for the end now. But now we move on to Brawl Ball, so wouldn't surprise me to see a little bit more Frank in this one.
That's right. Frank can do well here in Sneaky Fields. Not a bad ball carrier in his own right. Breaks down some of that terrain too. Certainly a strong pick.
Especially when there's no BB available as well. If BB was on this map, her mobility is fantastic for carrying the ball around, dribbling it around and repositioning. But with her being unavailable now, you might see a little bit more Pam. I would like to see a Shelly now and again. We don't often see Shelly, but I think she's really good on Brawl Ball for when you have these tanky comps.
We've seen a lot of different stuff. Some spikes have come through, and yet
like
again,
Shelly.
we'll see another one. Shelly has indeed been picked up. Looks like Rico here as well. No surprise at all to see it. Carl has made his way through in double Rosa. Keith winning the battle early up against Toonie. Runik's won as well. We might have an early score. Yes. Keith makes it in. Just mucking, continuing to make some noise.
And that's 3 tanks versus 2 DPS, 1 tank. And sure, Shelly's good against tanks, but she can't take on 3 on her own, Finch. You need teammates around you to support.
It is a shotgun. Come on now.
I mean, it is a shotgun, but shotguns only go to one person's chest, not the whole team, you know?
It's a true point, and yet again, Alec and Keith making noise. They don't even have the ball.
Who needs
it was just too much dominance from them. But to be honest, they don't even have to score again if they don't want to, as long as they can hold on. Keith tries to force it, but can't quite make it all the way to the goal. So now Toonie, after getting Alec as well, has opened up for Toonie to start making a push.
All right, 2v1. It's all on Keith. Alex coming back at the same time. Nice little rope-a-dope off the wall.
Okay.
And Toonie scores. That's what you get for mucking around, boys. I think they could have scored off that. I think they kind of messed around a little bit, enjoying themselves just mucking. They get punished for it. And they deserve to be punished when you do things like that.
And yeah, that was smart. Remember, unless it is something with some control, you can't really take the ball away from the one who has it. So Toonie bounces it to himself, gets the shield off the super, is able to push in and score. Slash, though, is lurking in these bushes. They don't quite know where he is.
He's got a shotgun, too. He's just always just showed himself, unfortunately, and got hit by Spike. So Slash will have to fall back now. If Slash gets a nice grouping of all 3 with that super, they will die quickly. But Toonie now being dead has presented a real issue, and Slash is under a lot of pressure here.
Whoa, but up close and personal, the Penny's able to put in the work. Slash takes down the Rosa. But still, Beastinator and the rest of No You have kept the ball pushed up. I don't think they have to feel too bad about where they stand.
Like the call from Alec there, he could have pressured, possibly from the super out to try and get the kill on Beastinator. Instead, he played the right option here. Just play defense, sit back, make sure the ball doesn't move anywhere for the time being, because the ball will be on his half. His teammates respawn a little bit closer to where the action will be.
What a good answer, though, from Slash. Moves up in the bushes, takes down Toonie early. He is traded out by Runik, but Toonie wants to try and keep moving in. He does have enough health thanks to Beastinator getting the kill, but Keith keeps this game alive still.
Go out to the wing, and is he through on goal?
Toonie!
Oh, he kicked it through! No, Runik to the rescue! This could be game. They could see Just Mucking end this now off this push, and they don't deserve it either, Finch. I want to play it out. Just Mucking were mucking, and they should have been punished heavier than this, or maybe they still will be.
Yeah, maybe you'll get rewarded. Slash lurking as an assassin inside those bushes, was able to find some huge kills. The Shelly made big plays, and now because we're in overtime, all of the obstacles get destroyed. Toonie looks for the shot, but can't weave it in, and that means they end up losing.
How'd you hit the post from there? He's like the England football team, that. I don't know how you don't even get it on goal. Now Slash could still score. There's a few seconds left. It's all on Alec. Beastinator's there too. Can they get the kill? Yes. Respawn through of Keith. It's 3v1.
They've got to try and pass this ball around and get it past him. No, Toonie's going to hold it, force it in, lands the shot. And there we go. No, you finally on the board. Maybe Brawl Ball is their time to shine.
We call that justice in the world. I really do think Just Mucking dropped that game really badly there. That map as well. Like they scored the first goal, and then they started messing around a little bit, just dancing around, watching him score. And then the respawns came through, they all died for it, and they get punished.
Unfortunate, at least if you're just Muckin fan, but I love what we're seeing there from No You. That Shelly really came up big for them. I think there was a little bit of slight silliness there from just Muckin, but for the most part, I think this Shelly just caught them off guard, moving in throughout those bushes and a ton of close range damage onto the Rose in particular.
Shelly causes so many problems, but this initial goal this just warned me that just Muckin were here to play it first, where they just destroy all the lane opposition and then 3v1 score, just position around Slash really well. But the comeback from No Esports, so much better.
Toonie bounces the ball, gets the shell, and is able to just walk it in. They couldn't stop that one. But it's the overtime goal is the one that really sealed it. Getting this kill into Alec and then setting up for the shot from Toonie.
I love the fact that he passed the ball to Toonie as well. The reason they give it to Toonie is because he's just so tanky, and he's square with the goal. And by square with the goal, he's dead center.
Right, he has the most angles.
Shoot left, shoot right. If too many brawlers go at one side, he can always put it in the other corner. As long as he hits the goal, that's the main thing.
And that time he did, which gets them that first Sneaky Fields, and on to pinhole punt we go. Onto this this one I expect we won't see too many different picks. What do you think we'll look for here?
Similar, but I won't get a chance to say anything because it's already in game. I won't cheat and go, I think we'll see a Bo,
Yeah,
a
good chance for
Carl.
Bo on this one.
Yeah, Bo and Carl is what I'm thinking about here.
I love the clairvoyance there from you. The Rosa and Pennies, though, mirrored on each side. The Carl and Bo, really the only big differences this time. Beastinator has already took some early poke, and this is one where Bo can feel really good. Not a lot to block these shots. He can kind of spam them in, but Tooney early on claims the life of Keith.
This Bo really will be for the mines more than anything else from the Super, just trying to lock down some of these areas, because he's not going to be as good as getting kills at the moment. This is a tanky lineup No Esports are running, and the other tanks are going to do a good job from just looking to keep themselves in this game.
Slash drops the spike, Super opens
Beautiful.
up the door, and Tooney pushes right in. All of a sudden, No You not looking like just the ones who got that first map, but perhaps even the favorites here on Brawl Ball,
I agree.
as they've appeared a bit more in control.
Okay, keep an eye on Alec. Alec has got to shut down Tooney now. Tooney is the real issue. Whenever he gets the ball, he's just supering, bouncing the ball off the woodwork and then giving it himself back with the super. So you need to have the spike to slow him down like that when he tries to make those plays and try and kill him. Runic, though, having a hard old time, and Tooney's through on goal.
What a game here from Tooney so far. Can't get it in, though. Alec respawned just in time, but Splash with that super takes down Keith, though Alec has bought his team some time for the respawns, kept the ball tucked away in this corner, and everyone's back up.
They've just not got their damage right now, just looking to try and turn this around against the composition No Esports have got. Take into account Slash heals inside his super on the ground, and that's one of the issues they're running into. And they're pinned back inside their own goal now for the moment. Look how low Runic is.
Slashes look good, and now Tooney, 6k HP makes it in. Beastinator scores. No You answer back. Brawl Ball's all theirs.
That was a very, very quick round all. With how the first map began, I was like, okay, this is going to be just mucking. Another 2-0 for them in Brawl Ball.
Right.
Not to be. They make a mistake, and No You Esports just came out the gates flying there with 3 tanks. It worked out so well for them.
And it really did look like No You just were at home here on Brawl Ball. I love the way that Tooney played the Rosa, but give plenty of credit to Slash as well. The way he was able to use those basics to get poke damage in, constantly keep them chipped down, and opened up the door for Beastinator to push.
And I think that's a credit where it's due. Sure, it was focused on Tooney because he was a real ball carrier for the team. And sometimes, you know, in traditional football or soccer, the ball carrier is always the one that everyone focuses on, but it's the team around him that support him to get to that point in the first place.
You're right. It is absolutely a team effort on Brawl Ball most of the time. Very difficult, I think, to individually carry, really in most of these modes, but Brawl Ball in particular. And so now this has kind of put Just Muckin' a bit on notice, it feels like. They thought they were going to come in and grab an easy win here. That's not going to be the case. No You had made it a best of 3.
Yeah, and I think with the Bo pick as well, that game from Runic there, like sometimes you don't often see Bo.
Yeah.
I think it could have worked in certain compositions, but against 3 tanks, you're going to have a bad time and not be able to really get enough damage out to find a kill.
I felt good. I thought he was able to keep Slash poked out. It just so happened that Slash was doing more the other direction, and they end up winning. So we move on to set number 3. It's Heist. We start things out here on Pit Stop. None of those jump pads move around.
I was immediately going to go BB, 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 but there's
Well,
no
we can't.
BB available here. She's been banned for this set. I can't remember which team actually banned it, but whoever did was very smart. So no surprise to see some Bulls replace the BBs this time round. 1 for each team.
Just not going to want that took that BB out of there. No surprise to see 2 Bulls on both sides. Carl and Rosa, though, have been brought in, but right to the back line goes Bull, and it's Runic wanting to try and hit home early. He'll claim 14% for himself.
Love what Runic just did there, Finch. The main thing, all his job is to run at the safe, and he distracts 2 members of No You Esports for a while then. He's going to potentially just go straight back to it. That's why Beastinator's got to try and zone him away. And now the turnaround could be here for No You Esports, though, if Tooney can get that kill with the super, but not today.
Tooney stays alive just barely. Runic caught in center field, melts beneath the pressure from Beastinator and Slash. And if someone told Beastinator his job was to zone, then I don't think he heard them. He's been focused on damage so far, dropping the supers onto the safe and just following up with support in terms of rain damage. One more Barley super from Beastinator gets in another good chunk of damage.
Heavy commit from No You Esports, and this is very good for them because Slash is through, still alive. And don't forget, as Bull's lower in health, the more damage he'll end up doing because of it. Now, though, it's a situation where Just Muckin have to be very aware that Beastinator's super could be enough just to end the game at any given moment.
And that's why they're diving right onto the safe. Runic starts things off, doesn't get much damage done, doesn't cost much HP either. Slash still healthy. Tooney, though, taking some good shots. So far, there's certainly some Rico value coming out, but now Alec's been caught at close range, just barely holds on.
You say Rico value, but I don't really see anyone dying is the issue. Sure, he's well down the health bars, but it's not enough to get a kill, and now Slash will get through and end
Well, fair is
map
fair.
1. No You Esports are actually in the lead now. What a good comeback from them.
Yeah, and as I said multiple times throughout there, the Rico wasn't doing enough. That was my point. I'm now going to be the one that said there wasn't enough Rico value, and you're the one who loved the Rico. I can't believe you love the Rico so much there, Hindu. That's weird.
That's what I do. I didn't say I like the Rico, but okay.
I know I'm putting it on you. I said it, and now I'm
used to
trying
it.
to shove it on you,
I'm
and you're
used
the
to
one
it.
who loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do like Rico. But on that specific play there against 3 tanks, well, not 3 tanks, 2 tanks that he just frontline, Alec got a lot of chip damage on characters, but the problem was he just
wasn't
didn't
enough,
get the
yeah.
kill. Sometimes with that super, you're looking to try and bounce it off the walls, or more importantly, it's very much like the BB super with the bubblegum. You bounce it off the walls for extra damage and continuation,
Right.
but you can't really do that on Rico if you're on defense the whole time. And I think that's the window that he found himself in there, where Alec couldn't get onto the front line because he was always playing D.
And if Runic was trying to draw attention back by diving under the safe, then I don't think he was able to draw enough. You heard what we were talking about. It was that it didn't take either enough ammo or maybe he didn't get enough health when he was up there. But either way, the No You was still able to pretty ably move back up and fight for mid control even after killing Runic. I don't think that he earned enough resources on his pushes.
No, I don't think he did either. I think this map, though, that we're moving on to now is going to be more interesting because of the jump pads as well. Just to give it a little bit more of an edge of moving around. Never go on the jump pad at the start. Just a heads up. Don't run
They
straight
do it all the
out there.
time, though.
It's a terrible idea.
Why
Because
don't you
everyone
like
just,
it?
you all just group up to get land at the same spot and just
Oh,
one
don't send all
guy-
3 onto
Yeah,
me.
could just
Okay.
kill them all. I've
Yeah.
seen 2 members do it sometimes too. It's not the safest play in the world. If you get away with it, good job. But I wouldn't risk it.
Sometimes we see Bulls go for it to try and get back there quickly, make up for the fact they don't have those supers just yet. Looks like, though, we'll only be seeing 1 Bull this time, Bull, Rosa, and
look
Rico.
at that.
Meanwhile, it's going to be Spike, Carl, and Daryl trying to even things back up.
Now, once you see everybody there, that's where Slash goes across. Now, he sees where the position of everybody is. Now he can use that and put Keith on the back foot. Alec, though, trying to shut down Tooney for now. Runic doing a good job of taking the trade, at least. And the supers are charged for just mucking, so this is a small advantage for them here.
That's right, they made it at least 1 for 1, but look at the positioning Slash is still earned. He's got to wait for that super. Now that it's up, he can force his way over towards the safe.
Oh, no, he
and
gets
it looks
burst.
like he's bought himself plenty of time. Even Tooney's going to come over. They're just going to try and all in for safe damage. They've sent the Daryl up top to try and match it, but now closer range, Alec is able to win the trade out on the Carl on top of the Rosa.
Little bit of choking going on in the early game from Just Muck in there. Keith missed an early super on the left-hand side, and then Runic hits the water, but didn't fire far enough with his super, so just stops at the edge of the super and goes, okay, I guess this is my life now, on the wrong side of the pond.
And yet again, Slash has forced his way to the back line. That's a good super from Keith to slow things down, but doesn't slow him enough. He's happy to stick here out of combat and heal up just a bit, though now that he's got a Daryl point blank, I don't know how much healing he's going to do. Runic puts down Slash.
But now they need to get aggressive here, Just Mucking, otherwise No You Esports are still in control. If that timer hits 0, it's whoever's got the most damage done will win the map, and that's No You Esports as it stands.
Slash is a man on a mission, though. Kind of baiting like once again the jump pad. Now he's going to make his way through, but this is critical. Tooney's too low, but lived long enough. Alec gets Beastinator and has moved forward some. They're just going to send Keith back to stop Slash in terms of safe damage. Maybe they can match it. He's been forced off by Keith.
Slash doing a very good job of making sure multiple members of Just Mucking can't get safe damage off at the same time. And now they're doing a bit of a relay race onto the safe to keep multiple members of Just Mucking busy and still getting safe damage off.
They have to keep sending people back, but these tanks are just that. In comes Slash right through Main Street. That opens up the safe. Gems everywhere. No You Esports all of a sudden on a tear 4-0.
Well, we saw the Rico earlier on, and we were talking about the fact that he's very useful on getting damage off in the safe, but he never got a window to. Well, that round is exactly why Rico can be picked.
Right.
One bounce off the wall and shredded.
Absolutely shredded. I really want to give a lot of credit, though, to Slash as well. The way he was able to dive, using that jump pad, obviously, to move to the back line, kept pulling back in multiple members. They had to come deal with him, and eventually it was too much. They couldn't send anyone up there on their own, sort of as that floater trying to do some safe damage. They just couldn't match him.
And now the question is, what does Just Mucking do to turn this around? Because they've just lost. They started off great. They won the official game mode, the first game mode, but then losing Brawl Ball and now this. Where do they move on to next? I'm pretty sure it's Bounty.
I think so. It is Bounty they're going into next. Jim Grab all the way down at the bottom, I believe. So things might slow down a little bit as opposed to some of the pacing that we saw here. And I wonder if that favors Just Muckin'. They won Siege, which is another kind of mode that can be slower. Bounty can also be that way too. So maybe they like those bit slower paced games as opposed to the ones where they're able to get kind of run over by No You.
Well, the first one we're going to go to Excel. This one, I'm expecting Barleys. I'm probably expecting Pennies as well with the changes to her and how good her super can be now with the power 10. So don't be surprised to see some of those characters. Although, in a weird way, Penny's really good for the turret, but she's not very good because you've got to lock down the angles and the narrow corridors here. Barley, though, big AoE. Jessie can be pretty useful on occasion as well.
Yep, certainly can feel good to have a Barley here. I know you were saying maybe you're a bit worried about Penny. Is it because there's not as many good spots to hide the turret here, you feel like, or how can she struggle?
It's more to do with her long-range basic attacks are pretty good, but the problem is they take a bit of a travel distance. They're a little bit slower than some of the other ones. So the very long distances, you might not get the damage off because someone may be able to juke it out a little bit more. Her benefit for this mode, though, is definitely the super cannon. That cannon damage is so impactful, and then when it dies, it'll home in on the nearest targets and bring them out of position too.
Yeah, I would expect for there to be plenty of value if this Penny indeed is the one that gets picked up as we move into this next game. Rosa's, Brock's, and Penny right there for you. So you got exactly what you wanted to see on the other side. Pretty similar comp, though it's Barley instead of the Rosa for No You.
So the real difference is Brock versus Barley here. Sorry, Brock versus Rosa, I should say. And the Rosa situation is the one that's going to interest me more than anything else because Alec can use the brush to heal up him. He's definitely good if No You esports overextend a little bit too far. More importantly, though, Runic got his turret online first in the Penny battle.
And on the other side, the Brock that has more impact so far has been Beastinator. Keith has not been able to quite move into position, though now that they're playing from a more defensive spot, I think Keith can get some value. Out comes Slash's super, though, that pins them deep into the corner. I don't think Runic has any options to move. This is exactly what No You want.
Yeah, Alec's going to have to push up eventually at some point, unless he ends up falling down instead. The one issue you're going to have, though, is it's all about the early game stars. You don't want to lose too many lives, so already you saw No You esports. Just get that one extra, and that's from the star in the middle, I believe.
They are able to start falling back, though this is not going to be a particularly safe victory. They still have Penny, they still have Brock here on the side of Just Muckin', so they can always push back in and find a couple clean kills. The difference, though, is Slash on this Barley.
I noticed the difference between the Brocks as well, how Brock is useful compared to Penny. You see Penny with the long-range shots, well, right at the end of the shot, it just disappears. The good news about Brock is, sure, you may not have landed the shot, but at least you leave some incidental damage on the ground in the corner and tries to keep people in position.
This time, the Penny turret gets no value for Just Muckin', though Slash is able to sniff it out and destroy it even inside that bush. And that's made life so much easier for Toon to take down Alec. And really, the rest of No You can just keep falling back. Yep. All of a sudden, they've got a chance to put Just Muckin' onto elimination point.
I gotta say, the more I watch it, the more I like Slash as a player. I think the Slash is really good. Tooney as well, in fairness. But Slash on this Barley in this game is causing much more of a problem than Rosa is. Rosa running at your face, but Barley's just there throwing bombs all over the map.
Things get hectic towards the end. Very, very close. Just not enough from Just Muckin'. No, you had that slight edge to be able to hold on. They absolutely do put Just Muckin' onto that elimination point. And, I mean, we came into this one, me a little bit more than you, singing Just Muckin's praises, but they've struggled here ever since that very first map and have not been able to hold on.
For some reason, Just Muckin' have a lot of incidental plays where one week they'll get to the semis or even towards the finals, but then the week after, round 1, round 2 eliminations, it kind of is what kind of move they've woken up in this day is kind of how they feel most of the time.
And really, No You, I don't know if Brawl Ball maybe gave them some confidence or something like that, but ever since then, this is the team that has looked a little bit stronger. Remember, for the most part, these comps have looked similar, but a couple of splashes here and there, Slash, like on the Barley here in this map, have really, really made the difference.
And what you said is really true, though. They got the confidence in Brawl Ball more than anything else, and so much about video game competitiveness, it really is about momentum swings and how much they can make an impact in the game. In this, it's just like no other with Brawl Stars, you know? You go down early and you're like, oh no, we're going to lose now. Then No You esports battle back into it, and then when you find the next map win, you're like, hang on a second, we can beat these guys, we're pretty good.
Yeah, we might not even get to see Jim Grab this time if Just Muckin' don't make some adjustments, though we move into our next map here within Bounty. Composition looking fairly similar. Brock, Piper, and Penny on both sides, so it will indeed be mirrored.
All long-range poke. Keep an eye on Alec. His Piper can be pretty strong. I'm excited to see how Beastinator does. He played a lot of Rico earlier on, but Slash just got hit full force in the face earlier, and I don't think he appreciated that so much.
No, that's not a good look, though it does look like No You were the ones able to grab that center star to get things started, so they're slightly ahead.
So notice how it's one member at a time of Just Muckin' and of No You esports being out in the open. The other two kind of hide away. So the two hiding in the brush, for the most part, are there for the setup shot of sniping as soon as they recognize a target. The other guy is there to be a bait. more than anything else, trying to set it up to force people to shoot him to give away the position.
When one peeks, your partner is supposed to counter peek for them, right? To have their back instead of running away, right?
Yeah, Finch right now, Casterwimby, is talking about us playing games together where we'd walk around corners in CSGO, and he wouldn't help us.
That's exactly right. Unlike what we're seeing from both of our teams doing a good job, when one baits and they start trying to shoot, the other team needs to pop out and respond. And so far, the trades, really because they haven't favored either side, have slightly favored No U, though that's some good damage onto Beastinator that Alec was just able to find.
But notice how No U supposed to have to fall back now, because Runic's threading the needle on that left-hand side with Alec too. Just
That's a tough angle too.
locking down these combos. And now with Keith using the super on the right-hand side, it makes it even trickier for No U Esports.
They know they got to make their play soon, so Keith commits the super to break down some of those barriers, and now they'll be able to go make Slash a much easier target. That's if they can push forward, though, without Toonie and or Beastinator making the health price a little bit too high.
They need Keith to get his super up and super up soon, because there's only 29 seconds left in this round so far. One kill at this point in the game would be enough for a victory for either side. And now watch Just Muckin run to the heavens. They're going to run as fast as they can and maybe incidentally get a kill on the tail end.
That's how important Keith's super was earlier to break down those barriers that opened up Slash to be more vulnerable. Alec responds on a Toonie as well, and we might not be going home just yet. 7 more seconds, and I think Slash has recognized they won't be able to do it. We're moving on to one more here on Bounty.
You just had a feeling about how that game went there. All square, initials, poke battles between the two were very even. But then when No U Esports, all at the same time, a couple of members all got chipped away in health pools, and all 3 of them were like, oh, I need to fall back, otherwise I'm going to die. They all drop back, and then everybody on Just Muckin just pushes on forward, and then you lock him in position. One kill, turns the game.
Yep, everyone on this map selecting these characters that excel from range, or you got to hit these really precise shots. And I think you highlighted it perfectly with Runic finding this angle. This is not an easy angle when you're able to get up here and take shots back up all along that left side path. That was a big difference maker. Also, Keith super breaking down that wall. I mean, Toonie eventually did it, but that's way, way later.
Exactly. And the one thing that you saw there, Runic didn't really manage to get the turret online. Neither did Slash for the most part. Neither of them could get enough shots off. And that's one of the issues you're going to have with a Penny too, is that to get your turret up, you have to land some of these direct shots. The likes of a Brock and the Piper, it's a little bit easy because of travel time and distance that they fire is just a little bit longer. Causes some problems for her.
Well, that's it for Excel. That's it for Dry Season. Bullpen decides if we get to see Jim Grab or not. I do expect... Do you think we'll still continue to see these Brocks? That's been a big difference maker so far.
You know, I'm not sure we'll see a Brock on this one.
No, not this time.
Maybe there's a chance of a Barley here. I'm expecting Pams are pretty useful as well.
Okay.
Rosa as well. You're looking for people that can sustain in brushes and also clear brushes well. There's no Gene, right? Banned away.
I don't think Gene was banned away. Okay. It was the BB that was banned. No, you're right. Gene was banned by No U.
So no,
you're right.
Gene can be useful for Bounty just for pulling people out of position or trying to hide behind cover. Barley could be an incidental choice instead, or even a Tara.
Gene this time, so Bo has been picked up for Runic. A bit of a flex here. Piper and Brox both picked up. We do see Piper and Brox on both sides, so the difference here just is the Penny and the Bow. Who gets more value, Toonie or Runic?
Well, I think overall Just Muckin have a little bit more value with their 2 supers. The mines will lock down one side of the brush for sure as time goes on, and Keith, meanwhile, can use his super to destroy the other side of the brush. So it would limit No U Esports into being a tricky position here. It's more to do with how well the Penny can do in the early game. Can Toonie get his super online? More importantly, he got that first star, so that's a good little win for No U Esports already.
They controlled it last time too, though, and Just Muckin slowly whittled them down. So look towards these Brocks to try and clear this path a little bit more as this goes back into another poke trade.
Really wouldn't mind seeing Runic's flank around the back here potentially on this bow, just because he's one of the ones that can do a little bit of flanking considering the 2 compositions of brawlers they've both got. But they did get a kill there, No U Esports, and that's a big one for them in all honesty. It's going to force Just Muckin to be on the aggressive. And right now they're doing a very good job, No U Esports, of juking around the brush and threading the angles nicely.
That's what's been really important, is how well they're avoiding all this damage, because things have been so close. Alec almost had a bead earlier on, but just barely couldn't land the shot. Now with some supers online, it's time to move up aggressive. Alec in particular knows he has an escape path if he needs one, since he has the super available. Toonie able to find Runic. This just feels like a bit of a bait.
Alec needs a super and he needs it quick. He's got to find some shots to try and get his super online. Won't get a chance to, so Toonie gets another kill. And you know what? This could actually be the game for No U Esports.
It's been dominant from them so far here, Hindu, so I don't know why it couldn't be. Runic incredibly low. Can't even afford to contest as Beastinator trades his life out easily.
Oh, I think this is game. Unless Keith can use something with his super, they're getting low on No Esports, but BZA just respawned and goes, you know what, Keith, I've got a super, and uses it preemptively and takes him out.
10 seconds separates Just Muckin from elimination, and can they find this last kill? Tooney's quite low, but Alec can't weave in the last shot, but you know who can? It's Keith. It's just not enough. 16 stars for No U, and they keep on moving.
Not a full reverse sweep from No Esports. Sure, they lose the first game mode, but what a great battle back from them to find the victory and move into the finals.
Yeah, I'm very, very impressed what we saw there from No U. Maintaining their composure, because the way that they got handled on Siege was really tough. I mean, remember how the literal last one ended up happening? They didn't even have a Siege bot. They just moved in with that Frank and took down the actual win in that map. But to come back 3 in a row, 3 sets, I mean, so impressive.
They definitely found speed in No Esports as this set continued on, though. Like, the first map, very tricky for them. They struggled. Just Muckin looked absolutely dominant. And then heading into Brawl Ball, the first map looked really dominant for Just Muckin as well. Then a couple of mistakes, and now No Esports have just turned it around completely. And to be fair, they played this really well. Controlled their angles. They recognized when Just Muckin were getting aggressive, and then positioned themselves nicely just to take incidental damage. I think Bo here wasn't the right selection in my eyes. I get the idea of how the super is useful, but it took him so long to get one of those supers online. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, I just don't know that he was able to get enough there. Slash really stepped up for me, though, too. Makes No U scary for whoever makes it in. No U now in the finals. On the other side, Sneaky Plantus and Turtle Syrup are waiting for us. That should be the match that we go into next. Sneaky Plantus, I think, obviously a favorite there in that one, but I expect Turtle Syrup to still be good competition.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to see how Turtle Syrup do and what kind of composition they're running in terms of a team. So I'm excited to see if they can do well.
Yeah, me too. But Sneaky Plantus is the team we see here towards the end so often. They won't have Just a Muckin this time, though.
No.
It'll be No U or whoever it is that makes it to the finals. That other semifinal matchup will be the next one after the break.
Welcome back to Brawl Stars. We're here in the semifinals. This is where we crown somebody able to go to the finals.
Absolutely. Doubling your money at this point, this is where you really want to be. This is where, frankly, I'm surprised to see the upsets over on the other side of the bracket. No new esports. They come in, they take down Just Muckin, a fairly established team, a team that has done very, very well in these past 8 weeks. And now I'm almost scared for Sneaky Plantas, given how today's went.
I mean, even the Big Boys is a team that we've seen be very successful here throughout the past couple of weeks. Turtle Syrup kind of comes out of nowhere and takes over them. That's who Sneaky Plantas are going to be going head-to-head against, and here are the bans.
Yep, pretty much the same, I think, as most of the other matches we've seen. And again, these are match-wide bans. You don't get this sort of like ban per set, per game mode, per map even. So you want to take something off that's just generally good and generally very strong, and Rosa and BB are that today.
You know, it's interesting. The Rosa just has several applications. By no means do I think Rosa's the #1 brawler anymore, but she's just good at everything. So by taking her away, you kind of allow a little bit more diversity and get to see some of those characters that might have more flaws but can excel in certain spots.
Yep, Siege is going to be our first game mode up on the docket today, and this match, that is. These things move, on a round-by-round basis, so the same match order that you saw last semifinal is going to be the same played here in this semifinal. The maps won't change, the maps and the modes, that is, until we move on to the actual finals itself. We're going to be going ahead and getting into game here. Slight differences in the compositions, Jean and Barley and Penny, versus it looked like actually a Carl was brought out in Barley and Penny as well.
Yeah, look at that. Lance will be playing on the left side. This is one of those maps where you can really utilize Carl as far as the bounce back ability. If you can kind of find your angles. OG on the Penny, though, will make that a little bit difficult. Bobby grabs the snag, and a great magic hand. Yeah, Bobby, spin about it. You feel good.
Definitely a good start. Super available. Or Stupid Chepo as well. What was his name before? Mike Chepo?
Jack Chepo.
Jack Chepo. I was like, I know that's different, but I can't remember where he came from. Next Siege in 5 seconds. Already 4-0 up. Last bolt is grabbed, but it won't be banked in time for the bot to actually get going.
4 in the bank, and that's going to create a level 4 Siege bot. Here comes up the left-hand side. Lance and Morton have a good angle on it, actually. We'll be able to provide a bunch of damage to it before even walking into the key. Bobby and Chepo pushing up. OG a little bit lagging behind. Chepo gets down Eric EX, though, and now the launch of damage onto the turret.
Big damage here from Stupid Chepo and from Bobby over here on this right-hand side, just in time. Barley's going to be able to get himself out of range of that turret, back to safety. Bobby will grab this next bolt at full health. And we're pretty much back to square one. No supers available. Everybody just grabbing bolts when they can.
Just past the halfway mark there for Sneaky Plantas on Turtle Syrup's turret. It's a nice look so far. We'll see if they can control this one as well as they did the first time. And right now it looks like it 4-2 so far with respect to the nuts and bolts. That's going to be number 5 if OG doesn't go down. Eric does, though. Control for Sneaky Peas.
A lot of great movement here from Stupid Chepo. I'm watching him a lot in these 1v1s. Frankly, kind of a 1v2 situation he was in over there, and managed to kind of just weave his way out of a lot of the enemy Barley attacks.
Wow.
He can really get ahead. Nice pull there from Bobby to get this siege started the right way.
Yeah, Bobby's really feeling himself in this matchup for sure. Him and the squad certainly looking good at the moment. Big damage onto the siege bot, though. Eric again gets pulled. Bobby looks good one more time. The turret, 9-3, 1% and 0. Just like that, Sneaky Plantas takes it to the bank.
You can see Stupid Chepo, 786 trophies on this Barley. And, the season rollover was not super long ago, so he was, knocked back down a peg. Just goes to show you how strong he is on this character. Great movement there. I think that's probably going to be my second level 10 that I shoot for. I think this character is so solid and in such a variety of modes, and especially if you can just make sure that you're patient and chip people down. Barley actually does fairly well just sort of brawling out.
Yeah, there's a whole lot, like you said, a whole lot of application. Here we see him work really well in Siege. Heist has a similar effect. Just plaster the ground with that AoE damage. It consistently ticks. And also what's cool about having a high-level Barley is that he's a different playstyle. It's not, listen, sorry you cult mains out there. It's we get it. We know how to shoot easily. Yeah. Barley's kind of jank. So when you see a good Barley, you really feel it.
Yeah, and so effective on these maps that have a lot of walls. One of 2 characters in the game that can throw things over there. Really, really great for zoning. All of those attacks tick twice as well. So, like you mentioned, in these stationary objective modes like Heist and like Siege, you're getting full value from every single one of your attacks when you attack the objective, and it's very, very helpful.
Dynamite is kind of similar, but without that AoE, without the persistent field on the bottom. That's really what makes him a little bit different. You get more burst out of Dynamite, but more persistent damage out of the Barley. So as we get into match number 2, we'll see how this one works out. And if we see more Barley, we absolutely do.
Barley has such an easy to leverage, just plain good star power as well.
Yeah.
300, which is about 10% of your HP every time you just throw an attack. It doesn't have to land. You don't have to do anything special with it. It's impossible not to get value from it.
Look at that.
It gives Barley a decent amount of, like I said, brawl ability. He can sustain himself, maybe surviving just one more attack, and that's all that's going to make the difference.
And that fight on the right side from Stupid Chepo is only because he can hit Leon when Leon can hit him. Over these walls, Chepo can actually find these shots. Leon has to come and put himself into danger. And that's a big deal and why we see Barley selected a lot.
A lot of people stacked up here, taking some good poke damage, and that's what Barley, again, is about. Keeping people in combat, preventing them from healing. Especially when you know where the boats are going to be spawning, you can chip them down as they try and get close. First siege will actually go the way of Turtle Syrup this time, though, so now we get to see Sneaky P on the defense.
This is the first time we're seeing them on defense here in the semifinals, and the bot's going to walk in. Penny turrets here, it'll explode, and the damage will be split. Good job there. Bobby's able to finish off Lance on the left side. The tower is relatively unscathed. 7 damage done by Turtle Syrup.
Yeah, really good job, just juggling aggro back and forth from the Penny turret to each of the teammates to make sure that bot does not get nearly any uptime on their turret. Chepo's trying to 1v2 over here. Bobby's going to make the rotation in. He gets his Penny turret down. Eric is trying to rip it apart with these Leon attacks, but now he found himself in a bad spot.
OG was trying to play defense, but Eric takes him out first. Now Eric grabbing some of the currency and able to take care of Penny easily. Morgan, though, takes some poke from that, and Chepo can't finish him off.
Not quite there. Bolt's still going out. Got to be careful. That Penny
6.
final blast has been so potent, throwing those turrets down. Those 6 bombs come out and just rip people to pieces. Sneaky P on the defense 2 times in a row.
So if Sneaky P's defend here, they have 5 gems already in the bank, so they're able to kind of stack it. And this is where OG's spike comes into play. Beautiful slow field prevents the Siege bot from really getting to the turret. 13, 17, maybe 22% damage. All right, I see you, Turtle Soup. But certainly not what they planned on looking for.
Final blast makes sure that Jack Chepo goes down. And with only 30 seconds until the next siege, Turtle Syrup have honestly gotten themselves back out of this deficit once again. The bolts spawn faster and faster and faster as the game goes on. So you can see how many are out and available on the field. Though it was a 5-bolt lead going into this bolt phase, Turtle Syrup have gotten right back in it.
This is imperative if you're rooting for Sneaky Plantas, that they get these bolts. Instead, Morton's going to pick up bolt number 8. That'll tie it. The last bolt is in Eric's way. Level 9 Siege bot coming out from Turtle Syrup. Sneaky Plantas have to defend well, otherwise they're going to lose this one.
This could be big. Bot now crossing the line of aggression. Spike Super goes down, tanks it up a little bit. OG just trying to stall this bot for as much time as possible. Turtle Syrup really need to get in here and do some damage right here, right now. Better than they ever have before, but still, at about 38%.
The last siege on the way. And this is what Sneaky Plantas was kind of gearing up for, I think. Allowing Turtle Syrup to grab the other side. Now 8 bolts right now, 5 up. We'll make that 4. Turtle Syrup are really snatching these bolts.
They're doing such a good job of it. I'd be very surprised. It is very rare that we see a team ever completely fail to go on the offense while still defending 3 robots in a row. The last siege is in 12 seconds. It's going to be a big, bad robot, but it's all about the context clues. These guys have to get a really strong offense set up because they have a lot of work to do to catch up. Safe still at 100% for red. 18 siege bots. Sneaky Planas need to do about 65% damage to get the win.
And this is the only shot they have. The game will be over. Siegebot already half dead. Bobby's going to toss out the turret, and the damage is going now onto the turret itself.
Kidding me.
Still 50%, 46 and counting. It's enough.
Oh.
The turret will actually go down in one shot, and Sneaky Plantas take siege.
That is, it's literally the poster child for the phrase of siege. Is you have to be setting up your offenses and your defenses so well so that you, the player, can be effective. Having a nice big siege bot absolutely helps. Doesn't hurt you at all. But it's all about, can you get kills defensively before the enemy bot makes it on its way to your turret? Can you juggle the aggro effectively? And can you get those offensive kills so that you have nobody standing in your way of the turret when it's time to attack?
I like that strategy. I think we did see a little bit of the bolt stacking. 1 and 2, I think Sneaky Plantas kind of allowed to go in the other direction. The third siege bot, I think they tried to get, but Syrup was able to actually usurp them really cleanly. And then here, this was, well, 18 bolts.
You can see Morton goes down very quickly. Leon tries to get in there, all 3 of these enemy players dying within seconds of each other, allowing Sneaky Plantas to completely free fire. The Penny Final Blast, being very effective. It's a ton of damage.
It's so much.
It's like almost 10,000 or somewhere around that neighborhood. Can really burst down a lot of not only the turret but unsuspecting targets as well, which can help swing those fights.
Yeah, if you pay attention to a lot of your content creators, some of the guys out here, I know Alec, Runic, these guys have put out some videos, OG included, about how to maximize that penny passive and really see if you get it such that a single target gets hit by that whole turret explosion,
They're done.
You're just dead.
And you can sort of manipulate it to go off when you want it. Placing a new penny turret down destroys the old one and sends out the 6 bombs from the final blast. So if you have people and even a long range, right, it still inherits the range of the penny turret. It can be a very effective tool if mastered.
OG playing his spike. Largely a spike main. OG is, I'll say utility main, because we do see the Rico come out from time to time from OG, but the spike has been so effective. Siege, it slows down the bot. You saw how important the spike super was there. And in Brawl Ball, it's going to be a very similar effect. Here's the shots. Bobby just putting it to the headpiece. And alas, as he scores goal 1.
Very nicely done there. Uses his super to clear out the box in front of the goal. Allows OG to try and get that ball as close as possible. Actually has to go and get a little 1v1 with Lance to make sure that he completely opens up the field, allowing him to get that angle to score. Another super's ready to go, and it's going to find a lot of value there. Huge damage from Bobby. He just wins the game on Rico.
Yeah, there's 1-1. Bobby just walks up, and I think the King skin is so perfect for that. He just walks up to the defender and he says, "My name is my name," and just takes care of business.
I love it, man. You can see some of the trophy counts with Chepo's Barley 758. You seen Bobby's Rico here north of 700 as well. Very comfort characters.
Yep.
And I don't really know. I wasn't watching anybody else but Bobby. I'm sure y'all weren't either. He was absolutely the king of this first map.
That's what I mean. He just walked up and just pop. Just you gotta love it. And here's a little bit of the teamwork. OG from the right side. That sends Bobby down to get the ball. Passes upfield. And OG got to do it for the cameras. Hits the ricochet shot. 2-0 to the guys on Sneaky Peas. And they're cleaning their way up here.
Yeah, looking like a really strong opportunity for them to go ahead. And given how almost tilting that loss was in that final Siege map, to go in 3 offensive straight and just not be able to get it done, getting 100-0 in the final Siege, it's a tough way to go out. But I'm sure that carried over a little bit into the way that Brawl Ball game went. And now I'm looking at a lot of momentum starting to pick up here for Sneaky Peas.
Wind in the sails here. We get to see some big boy Frank is here. And OG, well, he's still got to play the utility guy. Eric EX, though, some Poco. I really like Poco. Here, though, against the Frank, it might be an issue.
There's not a lot of ways to slow this Frank down once they get rolling. There's no hard crowd control supers for the side of Turtle Syrup. So if Bobby gets kind of on a roll and gets out ahead of the pack, then he's just going to be able to walk it down.
Yeah, you see Poco trying to land these shots, and he will. Eric successfully takes down the big boy with the help of his team. But how does Turtle Syrup press past this point Part of that's going to be Morton's super there as he drops the bear on the left side. Chepo takes care of it kind of easily. And now Bobby with the super stuns too. And it's going to be the cleanup. Bobby, no, gets cleaned up himself. His teammate's dead already, but a good clear coming out from Chepo makes it difficult for Turtle Syrup to recover.
Feels like this is the time to score here. Bobby gets out in front of the goal, winds up the super, destroying even more. He's got to be careful. He's really destroying a lot of what's keeping his team safe right now. Lance finally able to drive it home.
Really good play the first time around from Sneaky Plantas, where we saw the ball cleared on the left side right before they got decided. Here, this is a much different story. Nobody able to play defense, and Turtle Syrup just walking in. Nice job.
So tough for Poco to slow down a Frank, especially with that damage buff activated. The purple bubbles coming off this character means he's doing 40% extra damage for the next 12 seconds now after the buff. Bobby's just trying to beef it down mid. Not quite able to get it done, though.
Not quite.
Oh, he pulled the bear.
Oh,
no.
That's a rough look. Morton loves it, though. The bear gets eaten. The push one more time. Turtle Syrup still in possession of the ball right now. Passes cross field, and OG could intercept it. But it'd be a little bit dangerous, and so instead it's Lance that picks it up. Drops it, though, right in front of goal.
Has to be careful. A lot of damage still. Go out here. Chepo trying to buy as much time as possible. OG trying to just get the ball cleared. Frank respawning now, but it's a 2-on-1.
Bobby's here. Grabs it, passes it upfield, looks for the stun, gets Morton. Follow-up damage is good. Morton goes down. Lance is here, 16 on the clock.
There it is. Look at this damage buff ready to go for Bobby. Gets a little bit of out-of-combat healing, but I'm not sure it's enough. Chepo, last man standing here. The ball bounces back out. And it looks like they just feel like they're in control enough to get a little fancy with it. I mean, all's fair. Sneaky Plantas did the same to them.
Beautiful stuff there. Turtle Syrup earned that one at the end by the buzzer with a little bit of highlight flair as well. The ricochet into the hand, and a nice look there. We're tied at 1.
Chepo with the 801 trophy gene as well. One of those big number characters actually taking the L here. I'm not sure if they switched this composition up because they liked it better on this map or they really wanted to kind of get a little bit of style, but I don't even think they passed half court really. That was a very defensive game from Sneaky Plantas and a well-coordinated offensive effort from Turtle Syrup.
For what it's worth, I think this is a competitive draft for sure. Frank really excels here in the brawl ball. Turtle Syrup, just really figured out how to deal. This is how you deal with the Frank. You flank him around the other sides, and you're able to kind of get those kills. And then here it is, boom, boom, and the snatch.
There it is. Lance gets that final goal. Very well played by Turtle Syrup. And Poco, one of the, I would say, lesser seen characters, period. Yeah. Seeing him in Brawl Ball against a Frank, I've had that game before, right? I've had that moment where Frank is just trying to walk it down on me, and there's nothing I can do. I simply don't do enough damage, which is how important it was for Turtle Syrup to get ahead and stay ahead with that type of draft. If they ever got on the back foot, like I said, they had no hard control supers to try and strip the ball away from Frank. So if they got on the back foot, there was literally nothing they could have done.
So problematic there, but now we have the rubber match. This one, we'll see who wins this side. Morton one more time on the knee. It worked out last time. Bobby actually wound up pulling the wrong character.
Stupid Chepo grabs the Pam, Gene, and Spike. Small comp adjustment here with no Frank this time around. Sustain is the name of the game. Hopefully Pam will be able to match Poco. They both do a lot of healing, just in very different ways. You can see Stupid Chepo going to combine well with this Gene. A lot of AoE sustain for these two when they can get in there and actually fight.
Yeah, Poco's a little bit more mobile, and Pam certainly a little bit more effective when she's able to drop the turret. Bobby walking up, though, goes for the shot. Eric spawns at the perfect moment, and Morton wins the gun battle, which means he'll be safe and sound for the moment, but more importantly, protected the right side flank.
Ooh, OG whiffs a couple of attacks. Carl comes out of spawn and cleans him up. Kind of surprised we don't see the commitment there from Chepo in terms of, dropping down the healing turret, really getting invested in that offense.
Yeah, instead Chepo wants to put it on the defensive side of their own side of the court. Bobby pulls Morton, but that's a tanky Nita. It's not enough, and now here comes the super. Eric's walking up the right side, looks to pass it. OG drops down that super and slows everything down.
Well, nice hand there. Pulls Carl in, but opens up a new angle to be scored on. That's something to pay attention to. You can see just under the blue flag, those two boxes on the left-hand side of the screen getting obliterated by the magic hand pull.
here, had the ball, realized there wasn't a way for him to get in, so instead puts the ball back in his own side, protecting it from the enemy team. Still scoreless here, 55 seconds left to go. And nobody really has momentum. Ball in midfield.
OG could have locked down Carl there with a nice super. He had nowhere really to go. OG throws it up and over the wall. Pam turret is down. A commitment here, but a ton of damage from Carl's super. Doesn't result in a kill, though. Recharges Pam's turret.
Bobby has the super available, but instead will take a ball. Passes forward. Shots are good. Magic Hand is not. Was in range, just off the mark. Now ball belongs back to Turtle Soup. We're counting down 22 seconds before OT.
Spike super is ready to go. The only super available currently in this game. Morton takes a ton of damage. Eric rotates in to try and help him, but gets blown up himself. Super goes out from OG. Nice setup. This is it. This is the offense that will end the game.
Bobby's here. He's looking for the push-up. 5 seconds left on the clock. Taking damage. Passes to OG across. Walks it in. Gets the goal. 1 second on the clock. That's game. Beautiful buzzer beater by Stinky Plantas to take Brawl Ball home.
A slow and steady victory there. Very well done. Well put together. A lot of those sustained comps, they don't do quite as much damage, but you have to kind of slowly work your way up with the control of the Magic Hand, the control of the Spike Super. That was very well put together.
Real clean, and they knew the timing as well. You see this from teams on Bounty and Brawl Ball, where sometimes you just hang out and the other team kind of do it. You're kind of just playing, treading water, if you will, and then you see the time on the clock and you go, all right, listen. And a lot of times it's a sign of respect. You guys are good. We don't want to play the back and forth game. We'll wait to be the last laugh, and that's what we saw here.
Well, close but no cigar. You can see it's all kicked off here from OG locking down Morton. But even before that, Eric getting kind of blown up, eating a couple of big spike grenades when he was rotating in through midfield to try and give some teams some help. Too much sustain there. Jean's star power has sustain. Spike's star power honestly has sustain. Pam's star power has sustain in combination with just her base kit being centric around healing in an area. When you stack Pam on top of Jean, on top of Spike inside of it, I mean, there's just a lot of healing. Once they get rolling, it's very tough to stop.
Yeah, that's the control that we saw from these guys. Real nice. We're going to get into game number 1 here. Heist. And it's all about the big boys. I love seeing Bull, Bobby, and one on the other side as well for Eric.
Oh, nice rotations out here. Chepo makes sure that he is in line. The super, there's a little bit of a random element to it, but that final blast there, Chepo gets his super recharged off of that damage, and he's able to make a big rotation in here. This is going to be a very valuable offense for Sneaky Pete.
Looking for Morton. That's a good kill. And now the push onto the box itself. 60% for both, as there is some damage from Turtle Syrup on the bottom side. Morton takes care of Bobby, and now it's looking good for Turtle Syrup, but the damage is still here. OG goes down, but the Turtle guys are still pushing.
That'll do it.
Easy peasy. Stinky Plantas take it. And I know I just said easy. I'm going to disagree with myself very quickly. High octane game there.
That was crazy.
Not
I mean,
so easy.
A lot of things happened very, very quickly, trying to break a lot of it down. I mean, Barley, we mentioned prior in that Siege game, very good in Heist as well for the reason of those double-ticking attacks, do so much damage to the safe. Chepo gets on the safe early. Thankfully, he has the rotation from Bobby as well, but look at this. Bobby gets the Berserk proc, and then Eric just backs off, allowing so much more uptime while Berserking for that Bull, and it's really, really potent already at base. You throw the Berserking attack speed stim in there, forget about it. Your safe's done.
Syrup, though, plays this correctly. We usually see in the earlier rounds, a lot of times you have 3 players playing defense, and what winds up happening then, so you successfully defend, you're down 30%, and they just keep slamming into you over and over again. By putting one person on offense, you have the defenders go there, and when you defend, now all of a sudden it's a tie game, and your opponent has to think about what they want to do. Obviously, he was still went in Sneaky Pete's favor, but that's how you fight against that play, by fighting fire with fire.
You got to move and make sure that you move the focus of the match to the enemy side of the field. Respawns aren't super long. Like where you feel your respawn is Brawl Ball, like just having to sit there and watch the ball come towards your goal. It can be really, really tough sometimes, but if you can keep the center of attention on your opponent's side on Heist, then respawns start to matter a little bit less for you guys by the time, even if you go down, if you're all the way on the other side of the map, by the time you're respawning, the enemies are not going to be able to realistically shift the focus back onto your side of the map.
Let's respawn in game number 2 here, and we see which way this one crumbles. Last one was real fast. Just by nature of this map, it will take a little bit longer. The little elbow corner is troublesome to get into. That's why we see the Bulls one more time. But also Bobby on the Rico. He'll be able to have some cool plays here as he looks for the damage on the left side.
Well, Morton in and out of combat, back to full HP. Everybody poking out for the moment. Some pretty significant differences in these compositions. Shelly going to be so good at defending against that bull. You do so much damage. Hitting a full damage super on a bull nearly recharges your next super as well. So you, like I said, Shelly's so effective at dealing with the big boys. So the more big boys you see, the more Shelly you'll see.
Super, basic, super. It's real some fun stuff. So, Eric. Yeah, that's really what we saw was Shelly started getting picked up as a response to Rosa when she was really powerful. And so now that's kind of hung over to see, all right, you got somebody big, we can take care of it. Nice slow there from Eric, and it's actually going to be enough to help OG go down. Nobody with a look on the box just yet.
Yeah, that's a good, it's a good kind of thing to see, though. The slow from Shelly's super will open things up for Lance, where he can really line up a lot of those shots. OG trying to dance with this bull, and he tames it for now.
Look, Chepo's here with the super. OG's trying to distract and make everybody look at him up in the corner.
Nice shots.
But Turtle Syrup, don't take the bait. Chepo's just got to go for it now.
Well, he got a little bit of damage there, 2%. It's
More
not
than-
much, but it's something.
And honestly, this could be a game where we see something like that.
Well, we'll see now. Morton dives in, gets one big connection there. About 15% of damage done to the safe. Now dashes back over to safety. Jack with a nice rotation. If he can grab Lance here and then move to the safe, he's just going to move to the safe.
Yeah. See, this is the play from Chepo. Just going all the way up here. Still some damage up top. Morton, 1 HP, 36 to be precise, but will actually wiggle out.
Well, Bobby has an opportunity now, getting a lot of good sprays off with Rico. Almost 100 to zeros. Eric. He's ready to go on the super. He'll let it fly, doing a ton of damage to Bull and allowing himself to get the kill with the follow-up attack.
Jack here pushing up. No super just yet. Now he's got a charge in, ready to go. Lance is low. Jack would love it if somebody would take care of that player first. 54% to 96. Stingy Plantas need to make a push here. Morton shows up in the box. It's 50%. That's the number to beat. Nobody from Stinky Peas can, and this one goes to Turtle Syrup.
Back and forth. Nicely done. When Bull is in the game, though, again, you got to remember that just one good offense could do enough damage to the point where it doesn't matter. You can play defensive, just put the gloves up and sit against the ropes for the rest of the game. You get that. There's no comeback mechanics. There's nothing to help your team, or your enemies rather, come back once you have built yourself a lead.
This whole game was off of Turtle Syrup doing the right thing when OG uses the jump pad to push up on the right side. OG goes up to the right. There looks to be a great spot. OG pushes, and that's why we only have 2%, because Bull was not able to go aggressively the way we just saw there for Turtle Syrup. It was less about the offense here for me and more about the defense.
Yeah, it was an interesting little combination there. Shelly's slow on her super, allowing Brock to get a lot of good connections, get that super charged up. Again, Brock Super and Barley Super have somewhat random elements to them where those rockets and where those, attacks are going to connect. But I think Lance gets a couple of really good connections onto OG, allows that kill, and that sparks the offense that ended it all.
We'll get into game number 3, see who's going to take this one. Stinky Plantas could end it here and walk into the finals. Turtle Syrup fighting for their tournament lives at the moment. Got Bobby one more time on the Carl. We'll see how this one works out.
Well, this map's all about sustain. As you can see, a Poco and a Pam pulled out for both squads. Jesse subbed in for the Bull. First turret goes down. Looking to play around this one a little bit, but Morton moves in, able to one-tap that bad boy. And at the moment, at about the 3-point line for Turtle Syrup, they're looking to make their move. Slowly but surely, their iron march towards this safe is going their way.
And just straight damage here. The reason we see less of the Bull from Stinky Plantas is because you don't have to destroy any sort of obstruction. You just have to destroy the box itself. Turtle Syrup are doing a great job of that. 60+ damage. Now Stinky Peas on the offensive.
Well, OG looks to get in there, but realizing how far ahead they are, Turtle Syrup just walk right past, go to the middle of the ground, and try to get this offense rekindled as soon as possible.
This is a great look here for Turtle Syrup so far. That said, Stinky Plantas just going to take over here. Lance gets a very important kill. If Lance doesn't trade out there, I think it's over in a bad way.
Stinky Plantas have a foothold here. They just need to make sure they play well and make sure that they maintain this lead, or well, not lead, but this map advantage that they've currently got. Lance finding the angle to destroy this Pam turret. Morton has his charge. This one could be over with this next offensive push.
Yeah, plenty of time on the clock as well for these teams to go for it. Morton dashes in 38% to do it. And all of a sudden, this is getting dropped. Eric with a big fat heel. And that's a big fat win. Turtle Syrup brings us to game 4.
You know, Pam has the ability to help you snowball and get a ton of sustain once things get messy around the enemy safe, but that's the risk you take, is if it never gets to that point, you never get to leverage what's strong about your character. Poco's better at that big burst healing while staying mobile, so you see he's very good to support these Bull and these Carl dives because he can just blast this, 3,000-4,000 HPS heal out from the back line.
Also, as he's doing damage, he's also healing his teammates, so that's also a great look there. Poco is a character that, I say I don't think we see enough of him. Not every composition, not every map, not every game mode, but I do think that we could see more of Poco, because maps like this, games like this, he really shines.
Yeah, Bobby got left in the dust a little bit on that defense. You could see that was a very, very nice Bull charge. If you can end with Darrow and Bull your charge over unpathable water, then the game just pushes you even further than the targeter would indicate that you could actually travel. So because that Bull's able to get a huge amount of the map covered in just one single super usage, Carl's right there with a ton of movement speed as well, supplementing what Bull already brings. And before we know it, we're on to Bounty.
This one, here it is. Excel is going to be the map that we're going on. There's a whole bunch of columns to deal with. Very excited to see where this one goes. Excel is the map on Bounty that winds up being a little bit more aggressive than the others. Bounty, by its very nature, is a passive game mode. And so when we look at Excel with all its different there's no real, you can hide everywhere but nowhere at the same time. It forces players to be a little more active.
Yep, you're going to be looking out for things probably like the Barleys. We see a good amount of Brock here. Probably some Penny given the changes to her super. You really look to just hide by. You pick a little row of trees and you hide behind there. But if you're very, very stationary, that's where Penny's final blast is going to be extremely effective.
We see a little bit of Penny across the way. Bobby one more time will be playing on the Gene, of course. Looking for those long-range magic hands. And see right away, fighting over the star. OG thinks he's got a position, will go for it, and does. Doesn't get punished at first.
There it is. Well, it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade because they all get aggressive onto OG. Bobby can do the same in kind. Nice connection there with the magic hand. A quick 1-2 punch, but not enough ammo to the point where he can't get out unscathed.
Turnaround is good. Still 9-5 for the Sneaky Plantas as they go to work here.
And it's only a split second, but Bobby actually dies second, meaning it's not worth it for him. It's worth it for Morton. When Bobby gets that kill first, the Penny attack that's going to kill him is already launched.
Right.
He gets the kill, is now worth 3. The Penny attack connects on this new target that is very, half a second ago worth 2, now worth 3. So it's a small little hair-splitting detail, but Morton does come out slightly in favor in that trade.
Looking at these games, I mean, they could be decided on the split of a hair. Right now, 11. Turtle Syrup have yet to score the past 30 seconds plus, and this is going to be it. OG gets taken down. He's worth 3, but Eric goes down as well. He's also worth 3, so 14-8 as we take 2 steps forward for both teams.
Yeah, this is a solid lead given how the bounty is spread out right now. Stupachepo is worth the most, but he's only worth 4, which is still not enough. They would have to get a kill onto Chepo and then somebody else completely for free without trading out anyone else's life to come back here. So Sneaky Plantas, they are absolutely in the driver's seat.
Bobby's still playing very aggressive, though, for the moment. See him pushing up, and I think he's pushing up to make use of the space of Barley out. And that time, he certainly had enough ammo there. 18-8. And we'll start breakdancing because that's the end of that one. 1-0 for Sneaky Plantas.
Very nicely done there by OG on the left-hand side. He didn't get the chance to catch that 1v1. First super came out from Lance, and OG just kind of stared it down and walked actually up and under it.
Yeah.
Cuts back out, lands his super, 2 rockets from that, and 1 more follow-up. He gets the solo kill there. It was a very, very cool play.
That's what we're looking for when we see the bounty. Again, I like this map because it's a little bit more aggressive. Players played not even passive towards the end.
Yeah, it's symmetrical, man. It's just the rows are kind of all the same, up as they are down and left as they are right. So you don't see like this weird like map dominance, map control sort of thing. It's kind of the same all across the board. It's only until the map starts to open up via Brock supers or magic hands or things like that that you see this change. OG, there it is. He walks up under, places his properly and can grab the kill on the Lance with one quick follow-up rocket. Bobby finds a kill on the right-hand side as well. The driver's seat the whole time. And now we are into what could be our final map of this match if Sneaky Plantas can win.
This is where I really like to see OG. He plays utility a lot of the time, a lot of the spikes on the Brawl Ball, spikes on the other maps. When OG gets to pick Piper, this is really where it gets really scary. He nails these long-range shots, and Jack, Soup, and Chepo up on the right-hand side, able to combine the damage real clean.
There it is. Nice job from the penny turret. King makes sure that they keep them on the back foot here. Stupid Chepo trying to fall back from this first engagement. OG deep in with the Piper grenades. He leaps all the way up and out to get himself back over to safety. I see 9 of you spectators watching this game. Shout outs to all you out there following along here with the Skillshot North American Open. We appreciate you coming out in our final week.
Hell yeah, and everybody else out there in chat as well. I know I've gotten down there in chat. You guys have been kind of fun to hang out with as well. So, you know, celebrate the scene. It's been cool kind of meeting all the community as well, man. A lot of good people here in the Brawl Stars squad. I can't wait to, you know, hopefully there's more in store because this has been a fantastic tournament series.
Relatively new game, new esports scene. It's a lot of fresh faces out there, and that's where the fun just begins. First kill finally put up on the board, though, for Turtle Syrup. They're going to have to do a lot more work than that. Nice dodge from OG, but the follow-up, it's going to be good.
Morton just waiting. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Nice, bud. But I'm going to answer back. Now it's a tight game. Previously 7-0, now 10-7. A single kill for Turtle Syrup. Won't do it unless it's on stupid Chepo, so they're looking for that penny. That said, Eric walks forward and just fires. Still 1 star short of tying it up.
Really? That's the way it's going to go. All right, 8 seconds on the clock here. Chepo
Turnaround.
has to try and move this one.
They can't get it. The turnaround's good. Turtle Syrup take it. And that's game number 1.
It will force a map 3 here in Bounty. Chepo, man, he's just got the trophy count on a lot of these characters. My goodness, a couple of 8, even north of the 800. That's got to be one of the higher ones, period. I don't know that I've seen anyone else north of 800 trophies on a character.
It's crazy. And that one, you know, that one was so 7-0. You know, we start talking about the stuff around the game. You don't want to cast this guy getting shot 30 times over and over again. So you see this large lead, and then all of a sudden, just like that, they answer back. They get a couple of kills. And then the turnaround trade as Turtle Syrup take this one. I got to say, I wasn't expecting it.
It was a nice move there, very reactive from OG. In an ideal world, he would have had time to leap further away from the follow-up there, but all he had time to do was quick fire the super, which just sends Piper straight up and down. There was not much else to be done there.
See, if I'm OG, I'm blaming my teammate. Jack was on the right side and could have body blocked the shot for me from Morton. I'm blaming my teammate.
There was a rocket from Brock there as well. He's kind of dead no matter what.
I'm blaming my teammate. That's how we do it.
It's the easy way out.
Just blame my teammate. Bullpen is where we're going. We'll see who's got the bigger arm here in set number 4 on Bounty. And once again, Sneaky Plantas could end it here and walk in finals. Turtle Syrup keeping their tournament dreams alive just like they did last time around. We'll see if they can do it in Bounty here in Game 3.
In we go now. Gene, Piper, and Brock for Sneaky Plantas, and a Bo, Piper, and Brock for Turtle Syrup. Small comp differences here. Bobby will have to make the difference with these magic hands. Also sustain, something that Gene brings with his star power and something that Turtle Syrup, without the Gene, now lack.
OG has been the go-to carry for this team in the Bounty games. Last time around, outdone by the opponents across the way. There's 1 star as the middle one is picked up, but Eric takes Bobby out from a distance. Nice shot on the Piper, and the lead goes to Turtle Syrup.
Morton winning the poke battle here with Chepo. Rocking the bow. Chepo getting very, very low. Has to dance in and out here. He is really, really in a bad spot. Just trapped inside of the bullpen as 2 kills to none. Turtle Syrup opening the map up a little bit with Piper grenades. OG not having as much bush to work with now.
Not quite on the left side. Right side still pretty safe and sound to find your cover in. 4 stars so far for Turtle Syrup. Bo walking around the right side.
Bobby's got to get this magic hand charged up and ready to go, and he's got to land it too. That would be a tragedy if he spent all this time getting it charged up only to miss. He's Depending on whether or not he lands this one, this might be his only magic hand of the game, as only 40 seconds are left on the clock.
OG misses his second shot and so drops the kill onto the Piper on the backside. Walks away to reheal and is ready to go one more time. Piper on the left trying to find Lance. Can't do it either. The super comes out and it's wasted. And Lance gets wasted. Still, not enough to tie. 3 for Sneaky Pete.
This is it. No vision. Every super available. This is where Sneaky Plantas need to win this game. 15 seconds on the clock. Bobby moving in for what looks like the magic hand. Eric is aware of it. Stays out of range. Brock super goes out, finds some big damage.
Kill.
They don't even need the supers. They have the damage straight up.
And OG fires some shots from a distance just for fun. And Sneaky Plantas takes it at the end and take the whole thing. We're going to finals.
Very, very well done there to come back. It's all off the back of a very nice kill onto the enemy Brock. With a little bit of map control and just the threat of those supers, there's all that nice bush up there. There's no vision for Turtle Syrup. They had no idea what was coming for them, and that's why they couldn't confidently make a move. It would have been dumb.
Yeah, and that's really what you look at. You mentioned the random aspect of looking at both Barley and Brock's super. That's why you've got your teammates. You got to lean on your teammates. As a Brock, your job is to just yeet that super up top. You'll see Chepo. It's the play after this most likely. Because you see OG push up. There's Bobby taking down Lance. And then towards the end of this one, this is what happens. Chepo just yeets, and it's all up to Bobby and OG to finish off whoever got hit. It's like, all right, find your shot, baby. That's how we win the game.
Very, very well done. And once you sense that the ball is in your court, you have kind of control. That's when they get desperate. That countdown timer is forcing them to make moves they wouldn't otherwise be making, and you punish everyone as they come through that choke point. Get that cherry on top kill, the one you didn't even need, but it's the one that puts the nail in the coffin.
The finals. This is what it all comes down to. Sneaky Plantas, they've been here, and they've walked away as the winner. No U Esports. Some newcomers here, and I'm excited to see what they have against the big boy. Well, I can't say the big boys, because that's a literal team that got beaten earlier on the day by or they beat Celestial Dragons. But these guys are the big boys nonetheless.
Sneaky Plantas winning the majority of these tournaments over the course of these 8 weeks, so they are looking like the favorites here. This is a squad that we have seen from top to bottom just look dominant. They've beaten all kinds of teams. Didn't see the Nova boys out there in the bracket today.
Nope.
Without them to challenge, it's looking like, again, a very favorable day for Sneaky Plantas. BB and Gene actually will be the bans here for our finals.
Love this choice by No U Esports. Bobby will play this Gene every chance he gets, so taking it out of his hands is a nice look. You're going to force the team to play a little bit more honest. Bounty, Gem Grab, Heist. These are the first 3 that we're going to see, and we're starting with the jank, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Snake Prairie.
So this is a map, if you're not familiar, it's 70-80% just bushes, right? So you look it's very kind of specific. What we actually see here with Tara as well as Gene, but Gene being banned out. You look for those attacks that spread out. Large cone gets you a lot of information. With the recent rise in popularity of Bo, we might see him leveraged for his star power here. I'm not really sure, how he kind of fits in now.
Shelly works here as well. We were talking. It's funny watching how competitive scenes kind of rotate as far as metagame is concerned.
Yeah.
Shelly, the tutorial character, good enough, not great at anything. Rosa comes out, just OP. I'm going to call a spade a spade. And Shelly was brought out to deal with her. You just walk up and pop, and you can actually out-deal damage. Well, then Rosa got touched, but we still like Shelly for the big boys. And now Snake Prairie. I can't see you until you're literally in kill range of Shelly anyway, so it's a nice look. That said, sometimes we see the other approach, where if you don't want to clump up as 3 and just be this roving death ball, you can just kind of Frank and Brock and just sit in the back and we're going to destroy everything, and you guys can come to us later.
We'll have to see which way these guys lean. Seeing, I think this might be the only map you really see Tara on as well.
Yeah.
Those very conal attacks. With Gene gone, it only makes me think we're going to be leaning more towards that character, right? She has not only a great team fight ultimate, for a map like this when everybody is sort of clumped up, deathballing around, running together, you're likely to get everyone caught in the gravity well. But in the meantime, you're very good at getting that poke and getting that very crucial information of where the enemy team is coming from.
Also, I'm going to mention him every chance I get. Poco is interesting here as well. The wide cone, he just gives you the information that you need. Snake Prairie, let's jump right on in as we see some of the draft. Yeah, we got the bow. We've got the Rosa, the return of Rosa. this is where she can really make some moves. She's going to be on both sides and slash on the Shelly.
Mirror match compositions here. Bobby's going to run into trouble first, gets himself back out. OG has a great angle on the rest of this fight. Chepo gets in there, starts mixing it up. No U Esports is just running out of gas.
Yeah, big shots coming out of Sneaky Plantas.
Wow.
Just like that. Chepo's able to just dance on him right quick.
So much damage goes out there. And OG actually throws these mines down, I think, to cover his retreat, but his flank as well. If anybody had gone really, really wide there, they would have been able to sneak up on him. Bobby gets in the way. Nicely done there, and Chepo with the body block to keep him safe.
Love to see it. That's what I want from my teammates, baby. Chepo's got 7,000 HP. You can take a bullet or two for your friend. 9-0 for Sneaky Plantas right now as Tooney walks into the bombs.
And part of the reason I think OG puts his mines there is that's half court, right?
Yep.
If you can clear all those bushes out, then you always know what side of the map the enemies are on. Given that you have this early 9-star lead, I think you're totally cool with that to sit back, put the gloves up, make sure you stay defensive, make very safe plays, make very high percentage plays, and now you're gonna know this is that point that we were just talking about. He knows exactly when his enemies move onto his side of the map.
Oh, Beastinator here on mine clearing duty. OG's gonna get hit by one, and the shot into Tooney is real nice, but still scoreless here. Shelly might change that, but she will. That's what we're talking about. Big damage up close. 4 stars in total. With only 15 seconds left to go, No U has to make a move.
A high value dive, certainly from Slash, but they're going to need more. OG has another set of mines to throw out. He'll do so to keep Slash at bay. 5 seconds on the clock. Bobby moves in. Bobby knows he's got what he needs to claim victory here in this game. The first game of the finals will go to Sneaky Pete.
Clean up there as Bobby just walks up and takes care of it. 2 kills in a row. We call that a double-un in the business, and it looks good too.
And you can see that Shelly really does get rolling. You almost nearly charge your super. When you're fighting a big boy, that is really, your Bulls, Primos, Rosas, Franks, things like that, they're very good at absorbing all those bullets, all that damage, and you're getting 70 to 80%, really one attack's way from your next super. So you can be extremely effective if you're aggressive, if you believe in yourself and you know the amount of damage you're about to be able to pump out. That's a big thing with Shelly is you got to make sure once you get toe-to-toe that you stay toe-to-toe.
That's a big deal in general in Brawl Stars. If you're trying to get better in your own games at home, know your matchups. Look, it's math. There's no, every time BB swings her bat, she's going to do X amount of damage. There is no bigger swing or lighter swing. It's just that amount of damage. So when my character goes up against your character, you can mathematically know I have enough ammo to kill you or vice versa.
Yeah.
With Shelly, it's the most important. You got to know your matchups, and you got to know if you're going to be able to activate that super and kill, because if not, you're probably going to get killed yourself.
Layer Cake's the next one. Barley's and Jeans probably likely to come out here. No Jeans. Oh, he was banned. That's why.
Yeah, we're all wearing sweatpants. No jeans today.
No jeans, baby. No jeans. Here we go. First couple of shots come out. Not finding a home so far. Barley's for both sides. Piper's for both sides.
Look at
Brock
OG
versus Penny. That's the difference this time around.
When you're playing a map like this, and I think with Piper it's very important as well, you want to not only be able to land your shots, that's rudimentary. You're not even at 101. Oof. Nice combo there from Bobby and Piper. And really, that's getting to what I'm getting at. You want to know player tendencies as Bobby gets it from a distance as well. You need to kind of guess where players are in that brush.
Here comes a super from Brock, clearing things out and removing a safe haven for Piper and Barley to lob attacks from. Does open the map more. It's a wash. Both Piper and Brock want this to be more open. It does hurt Barley more, especially if Slash is going to continue to play this side. He might need to rotate and start to contest Jack or Stupid Chepo.
OG is usually the guy I'm watching for these long-range engagements, but Bobby has been impressive on the Brock. Real good shots. Again, landing it on Beastinator.
Chepo needs to deal with this Penny turret as soon as possible. OG is just going to drop the super grenades to get the job done. Instead, Final Blast comes across the map.
That might lose the game.
I wonder why that attacked Bobby. That was worth 4 stars.
Because nobody else was a viable target. The Penny turret, when exploded, will hit every single viable target. And if there's only one person within range, it's that one person that's getting every hit of the damage. That was actually a really rough play by OG. He kills his own teammate in essence.
My goodness gracious. And just from where I'm sitting, it felt like Bobby was almost the furthest
Nice
one
job.
away, but they're just better today. They managed to bring that one back. Sneaky Plantas tied up now in the lead.
Woo! That's the play. Push him from the right to the left into a pile of death. 17 to 9 as Sneaky Plantas make the huge plays at the end of it. And they'll finish this one off and move directly on to the next game mode.
That is a statement victory right there. I mean, to have something very unfortunate like that, give the lead back to your opponents,
Yeah.
and to come back and through nothing but just sheer pristine play, not only able to tie that one up, but then take the lead and then end up blowing out your opponent by almost 10 stars.
Also, it's impressive because, like we said, Sneaky Plantas have been here before and won here before, but usually what we see out of them is very brawn play. They're just better than you at hitting their stuff. OG just winds up out-sniping your opponent's team.
See what it's just, I don't know. OG, it was very, very close in terms of who was the closest and who was in range, but OG, Chepo, very, very close to being in range, and Bobby, I don't even think he expected to be the one targeted out there.
If that's the play that happens, you know, these guys watching the tape, what they learn there is when you go and you kill the when you see Piper go up to take care of the turret, Jack or Stupid Chepo has to push up himself as well. So there's two players. It's a meteor effect. You got to just split the damage, and if you're not going to split the damage, somebody's going to get split in half. Undermine is the first gem grab map here in the finals.
A lot of bush here. You can see that's why Bobby likely goes for the Tara, just to be able to throw out these very, very conal, very, very wide attacks. Toomey versus Chepo on the Rosa, and Toomey will actually get the victory in that trade.
I really like Tara. Tara always just seems Gene's better. It's your setup character when Gene can pull a player towards you, but I think Tara really excels at maps like or modes like Gem Grab, where there's going to be some central objective to go for. This middle lane, this middle spot, you can kind of put your black hole there. Right now, Sneaky Plantas trailing by 3 gems. OG makes it to safety.
Tries to clear out some of the bush. While he does, a lot of damage goes out on a Chepo. He's forced to pop super just to survive.
Bang.
Gets a quick turnaround kill there. No Gravity Well super just yet. Slash has his turret posted up in a very safe spot. And that's just an ever-present threat that Sneaky Peas are going to have to be aware of and continuously playing around.
That penny turret's a big deal right now for No Use.
He's dead. Oh, man. Tough stuff there. Unable to rotate out in time. And nobody like the Barley to just throw the attacks over the walls and just straight up deal with this turret. Sneaky Peas in a rough spot.
Yeah, and it's really just because of Slash up there. The beautiful turret is just tearing everybody up. No way for Sneaky Plantas to get to it. You see OG literally trying to push up past and can't even reset the countdown.
This kind of comes down to the Tara not really feeling like it's very worth it. Gets one Gravity Well out this game. They're going to go for the full dive here. The well, not quite able to get it done in time. Sneaky Plantas get behind early and never able to reclimb that mountain.
Yeah, Bobby really unable to make the impact here. And that's one of those matches where I'm not sitting where I can't go home and say Tara doesn't work. I need to see another one for sure. But you were shouting out high trophy numbers. Slash over 700 on this penny. That's a really big deal. He had 700 on the Barley as well. So this guy's really comfortable with some of the brawlers that he's bringing out here in the finals. And you can tell.
Gets 5 gems early. Was the primary gem carrier for the majority of this game. And a very safe turret. That's a big part of it. Is Sneaky Peas were never able to kind of get in there to get that turret brought down. And Penny is one of those characters, and any of the turret characters work this way. Your super goes out and you're charging your next one, so you can kind of have one in the back pocket. Even if they were able to get to that one, he just throws out another one immediately.
When it comes down to modes like Bounty and Gem Grab, Sneaky Plantas Sneaky Plantas heavily lean on OG's prowess on the Piper, and the penny turret just took OG completely out of the game. He's looking for his shots and this just consistent pop. It's not overbearing, but it's suppressive fire, and it stops OG from really getting into a spot and firing his Piper shots, and that's really, I think, what took it for No U Esports.
Chepo kind of getting a little bit dominated in the Rosa matchup as well. It was just a snowball effect there, and banking so heavily on the Tara to be that setup character, kind of like the Gene. Back when we were watching that bounty map last match, it's kind of like, all right, we're really waiting for this magic hand, because once it connects, it can really start to snowball the lead. Same thing with Gravity Well. You get a ton of damage out. You're getting very, very close to charging your next Gravity Well off that good Gravity Well. and the only one of the game comes out, doesn't necessarily have a big impact. There wasn't that big kapow turnaround moment, mostly because nobody was there to follow up on it. It can be, especially with Rosa having the big conal cleave auto attacks. She can absolutely be that one to just dominate the follow-up.
Yeah, we need to see some more out of Bobby, some more opportunity, perhaps. Game number 2 on the way. We'll jump right on into it. And this time, Bobby not going for the utility. It'll be OG on utility. He'll be playing the spike to slow players down. Chepo with the long-range damage at a bow. And Bobby is going Rico to Rico. Love to see it.
Well, a large range advantage for Sneaky Plantas, and they'll have to try and abuse this as best they can. Slash is in a rough spot here. He's likely to go down, just completely dancing back and forth, trying not to get caught going through any of these chokes. Beastinator extremely low as well. If Chepo can grab one of these kills, that would have done it, but Toomey gets in range, and Rosa does the rest.
There's some damage across the way. OG's able to find the kill as well. Slash, though, has returned. Will be able to provide some healing for his team. Beastinator with the 1v1 as well on the right side. That's what I was watching, the 1v1 between the two Ricos. And watching them both find some real cool angles was fun. Beastinator won it, but had 32 HP left.
Close but no cigar here. Another super is going to come out from Beastinator. Not afraid to challenge Bobby on this Rico. Knows he has the angles held down. Toomey really struggling with the range advantage here. The Rosa has not been able to be super effective.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that, as much as OG was kept down last time around, now he's the one keeping Rosa down. The slow from the super is gigantic. OG keeps putting it at that 6 o'clock spot here in the middle lane, and that's a big problem because that's where Rosa keeps trying to walk through.
Chepo has the range advantage. One more arrow would do it. But Boko barely able to skate
Tuning
out in
unseen.
time. Slash has a lot to do with this. OG tracks him down. Spike super is ready, and it's just control, man. Rosa has been controlled this match.
Rosa, this giant AoE, and that's what's nice about Spike Super is that you don't have to hit somebody. You just put it down and you deny area. Bobby's gonna deny the game. 14, 15, 16 gems. Sneaky Plantas, they've got 9 seconds, but they're in a good spot.
Well done there. I mean, Chepo and Rico, when they combine their attacks, they're absolutely obliterating this Rosa. The final couple of seconds come through, and Stupid Chepo with his 13 in hand will be the star player of this match. First gem grab map going the way, or back finally in favor of Sneaky Pete.
Like I said, I started entering this game and just got locked into the Rico matchup. Beastinator and Bobby on the right side. They were utilizing the right side wall, and it's fun because you see these real big ricochets, but also look at these kind of cheeky ones, real slide ones. That's how Beastinator won. He's able to make real skinny ones and then some big shots, and you see him just barely get out of there.
Such a small difference, but it makes a big impact in this first game. Again, Tara relatively kept on a leash in game number 1. Rosa kept on a leash in game number 2. It's going to come down to game number 3. I expect a very confident composition, not trying to outpick each other necessarily, because taking that risk with a set on the line is just not worth it.
Death Cap Cave. Here is where we're going to go. We'll see where this one winds up. A little bit less open space, so the Pipers and the Bows are a little bit less desirable here.
Yeah, you will look for some way to open up this map if you pick those characters. Usually when you rely a lot on sharpshooters, you see Brock paired with them because he has a very reliable super for clearing out a ton of area while still being able to, dominate in the sharpshooter game. Piper, it's tough to say whether or not you'll get an opportunity to use your super for terrain clear because you have to just walk up and then jump back out and make yourself very, very vulnerable.
We'll jump into this one. Sneaky Plantas looking to take this. No, you esports looking to tie this one up as well. You can see the Stupid Chepo and OG on the long range and the slow one more time. Beastinator on the Carl. And again, the multiple pieces of wall opportunity here really makes Carl excited.
Well, Chepo finds 3 gems, rotates around. They know where Slash is, and they're content just to leave him in the corner for now. Bobby has his super available. We'll be able to get in here and fight it out. Chepo continuing to just backpedal and allow Slash to walk right into his trap card and grab that kill.
Just how you broke down, remember a couple of sets ago, you broke down how beautiful the Carl play was, where he rotated around the opponent to make use of the wall. Bobby does the opposite. He makes sure that Carl doesn't have a wall. You never want to be in between Carl and a wall, so you put your back to the air, and Carl can't get the quick back ski.
Has to throw it out. constantly. Bobby has to die for it, but buys a lot of time for his team. 7 gems to 1. Map control back in favor of No You, which is fine and dandy for the time being. Bo Super goes out in combination with the Spike Super. I like the idea, but it doesn't quite line up.
Yeah, that's a cute idea. Put the mines down and trap players in them. Slash gonna get in trouble, but turn around as Tooney deals with Bobby from across the map. Well played there by the Penny. Chepo trying to provide shots in the middle as Slash looks for the flank on the right side.
Spike Super goes out, trying to provide some sustain as well as damage onto the Penny turret. Final blast, not onto anyone today. 6-7 now. It was a 7-1 lead. Now all of a sudden we're back in business here. A very competitive map 3.
Yeah, real tight. This one was definitely not looking this competitive until the later stages. 7-8 now as No You start to take the lead. Bobby knows it, and he's looking for a kill. Slash is behind him, so Bobby's got to be careful. Beastinator commits as well. Bobby deals with Beastinator, but is traded out as Penny finds the shot. 9-8. Sneaky Plant does retake the lead.
I love that play, though, just to get map control back in favor of Sneaky P. They grab their 10th gem, start the counter. 8 gems for No You. Bobby again diving, wanting to just buy map control.
Good.
Buy time for his team. 9 seconds. There go the mines. This will be the 10th gem for No You, so the countdown will stop as soon as Slash grabs this.
Oh, there it is. Yep, nice and tied up there. Scary as Chepo's the only one with gems. He's got all 10, and if Beastinator realizes that and went down south, all right, that's one way to do it. Tie it up, take the lead. 11 for No You.
Tie it up for Chepo as well. Throws out some more mines. Slash pushing him down, taking a lot of damage for his troubles, though. Bobby has the shield available. Blue team's going to start their counter once again. Bobby needs to leverage his shield here. When they move in to grab this gem, oh, Bobby's just going to do it himself. Now they can move on to their side of the map with confidence.
7 seconds to go. Slash, Tooney, and Beast looking for the dive. Slash is in trouble. Beast uses the super to get in range. Dives before he deals damage. That's it. 16, and Sneaky Plantas are 1 set away from taking the final in the NA Open.
That was one of the longest gem grabs we have seen over the course of this 8 weeks. There was 20-plus gems out on the field. A very, very fun moment there, but Bobby at the end plays it very, very safely, very, very smart. 3 lives in a row. He uses his life to die for his team just to force the locus of control back into enemy territory to give his team that map control, because that's what they were struggling to get for so long.
That's really what it was. That middle center can be so important. And, you know, I'd mentioned Stupid Chepo having all 10 gems on himself. That can be scary, but it also, at the same time, while you're all front-loaded on one character, that means Bobby can throw himself to the wolves, like you said. OG, that's not his job. He's going to try and provide long-range control, but if he has to, can die for the cause and allow his teammate to stay safe on the backside.
Bobby goes in, grabs that 13th gem, and that's why you see No You finally have to get aggressive. There wouldn't have been enough time on the timer for the mid little, I don't know what you want to call that, the little pigeonhole that spits out the gems to spit out 2 to tie that one up. The reason they weren't getting aggressive prior is because they just needed 1 more to spawn to recenter the game and to stop the timer once and for all.
So this is actually, the gem grab maps are actually all above Minecart Madness. The minecart ends and the gems spit out from the top.
There you go.
That's the lore.
Lore behind it all. Bull, Rosa, Rico.
Big guys.
As we move for Heist. A lot of big guys, but no Barley. Somewhat of a risk, I think, for Sneaky P.
Yeah, Beastinator has the Barley. Chepo instead. Chepo is basically the Barley, I think. Maybe OG. Either way, Bobby here is going to be a big focus to just look to charge that super. Stupid Chepo makes his way to the backside. Will take care of Tooney just like that. And Barley denying entry to the left side. Throws the super out, but Bobby's here on the front. Chepo has done a good job of distracting to let his bull get in here. OG deals on the bottom side, and now it's big damage onto the safe.
That's pretty much it. OG winning that 1v1 in the backside defensively is what is nearly going to lock this one down. OG's Rico has just been too damn good.
It's so impressive to watch some good Rico play. 25% left on the big box. A team clear. Chepo is here, though. That said, that's a whole lot of damage.
Sure is. Slash is able to move in, grab the kill onto Rosa. Bobby eating a ton from that Rico super, brings him down to half, which for Bull is about 3,000 damage. So big, big play there from Beastinator. And actually managing to get the offensive flip here, the exchange, but OG's ready for it.
Yeah, it just says no. Access denied. No hacker voice for you, bud. Just walk away. OG still looking for the shots, can't find it Colt style. He'll have to look for the ricochet a little bit later.
And no, Bobby's still waiting in that corner, has his supercharge available. The bull charge waiting to come out. Slash forced to play defensive. One more good offense from Sneaky Peas, and this game will end.
And there's Bobby looking for it. Not a good one, but OG on the bottom cleans up. His teammates distract, and they go for it. Fantastic play there. Sneaky Plantas, 1 win away.
One more map, and they leverage what they brought so well to the table, which is just beef. They brought a lot of HP. They open up a line of sight for Rico to use, and then Rose is there just to kind of be a presence, right? Whether it's, you know, blocking, playing defensive to allow OG to get a ton of uptime on Rico, or like the first kind of offense win. He was actually the first one in there. Rose is not the biggest threat to the safe, but it's still something you need to sort of address over time.
Absolutely.
Her cleave autos make it very difficult to play defense against her because she's punching the safe and you at the same time.
Yeah, it's a really big. Here's OG with the highlight play. His Rico, you mentioned it. His Rico has been out of control.
Very, very strong. Again, we didn't catch it on camera, but he wins a defensive 1v1 very early on in this match. That was very, very important to slowing down Slash's counter bull dive. If that didn't happen, I wonder which way that game would have went.
I mean, we talk all day about Heist being, you have to stay aggressive, you can't play defense, but one person needs to, obviously, it just be a base race. So figuring out that balance is really important, and OG did just that.
See a nice little 1v1 brewing here. Chepo with some great movement to keep himself in contest. Beastinator throws out the super to try and put the nail in the coffin, and it's going to get it done.
Slash on the other side is slowed out. Bobby on the Primo, though, making his push up north, healing a little bit as Tooney tries to deal with him. Here's
Nice.
OG. Not your ideal target to be hitting the Heist box, but Primo's over here in the corner just playing distraction.
Being a presence, that's all he needs to do right now. He does a great job of getting out of combat when necessary, getting so much healing. Bobby, the thorn in their side, and he's buying so much time, so much space. Counter bull dive comes out, but OG's able to deal with it, only allowing 19% damage out on his safe.
Yeah, Bobby looked like he's training for the new Just Dance game, just dancing around, not getting hit for anything. Here's damage, and we're back in the middle, 88 to 81. No U Esports with a little more. Big jump from Bobby right on top of Beastinator. And as I say that, Sneaky Planta's looking to assault the box. 45% so far. Slash and Beastinator are able to take it down. This is a big play for Sneaky.
Well, it's buying space if nothing else. Stupid Chepo, I don't know if he's feeling confident about where they sit at the moment. Intergalactic elbow goes out. It actually does connect with Bull, Slash, and Stupid Chepo in a nice 1v1.
You know, I actually think that was calculated. Letting himself get hit to have the advanced attack speed to play defense. I actually think he wanted to do that up there.
Maybe. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of, but I just don't know
Bang, bang,
why
bang.
it was worth it.
Bang, bang, bang. That's why it's worth it. It's worth it for $600. It's worth it to take home the finals, man. Beautiful play, Sneaky Plantas, just like that. Not once, not two, they just continue to take it, and they're going to be our week number 8 champions.
Only dropping a single map in this entire match. Very, very well done. We said these guys are the favorites. They have no doubt taken the lion's share of the prizing and the glory available in this 8 weeks of the Open here. It's been a lot of fun to watch these guys dominate. They didn't win it all, so you know they've definitely had to improve and change and evolve as this tournament has went on.
I think one of my favorite things about our 8-week tournament here was the changes that Brawl Stars have gone under because the metagame was so baked in. Carl, Rosa, every time. Brawl Stars made some changes, then Skillshot made some changes. We offered bans here, I think, in week number 4. And between the bans and the character rebalances, we've seen teams really have to readjust their strategies, and seeing the same teams week 1 and week 8, these guys are playing different compositions, they're more well-rounded, and it's kind of fun watching these guys kind of grow with the game.
The evolution has certainly been something to behold, and that's what's the fun part about like brand new esports scenes. You don't necessarily know what people are going to be bringing out. You have your own ideas going into the first week, but you see what starts to win, you start to work on how to beat that, and then you get beat by something else. And around we go.
We've seen some cool stuff, like we said. We have the specialists, right? Runic is the Gene guy. Bobby's going to play that too. We see OG on the Piper and the Rico. So these guys have kind of created a name for themselves on specific characters. But then when it comes down to playing for the team, OG is going to play Spike every time on Brawl Ball. Seeing these guys bring different stuff is really exciting. So 8 whole weeks in the books for the North American Brawl Stars Open. I mean, I'm going to ask you a real tough question. What was your favorite moment out of all of these games that we've seen?
Had to be something from Brawl Ball. I think there was I can't remember exactly how it went down, but I know we had a replay of just us like freaking out about the Brawl Ball moment specifically. So but judging off our reactions, I would have to say that.
The Brawl Ball has been fun. Watching the game modes have really kind of changed. Has been a lot of fun as well. But 8 weeks in the books so far, and that's going to be it. That's going to wrap up our first event of hopefully many. My name's Tom Banninger. I got a whole bunch of people that helped out here from Skillshot. But everybody, I'd just like to thank Brawl Stars, everybody in chat, everybody watching, and everybody that has played and is yet to play. We'll see you next time. The North American Brawl Stars Open, presented by Skillshot, comes to a close, and we'll brawl you later.
Oh!